man, this has been a party. That's all right.
Mhm.
That's all right. All right, so we're doing stuff. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so oh man, so we're just gonna dive right into it. Chat, I'm getting baby reindeered. It's not good. I hope you guys understand that reference too. For those of you that don't know, this refers to a Netflix show around a
I don't
stand-up
know.
comedian. It's about a Netflix show about a stand-up comedian who's a lot less attractive than me, but way more successful. And he has a show on Netflix. I don't know how that's happening. I don't know how they're picking who's successful nowadays. It's bullshit. And then he gets a very, very intense fan who is just really excited to hang out with him, and then things escalate from there. So, Iron, do you want to start? Just go as far back as you can with the beginning, and go ahead and share that first video.
Sure. A little bit of backstory. I think anybody that's watched the show remembers when we highlighted a Facebook post directed at a local comedy venue in Spokane where a jaded female comic decided that it wasn't fair that when she decided it was only when women won the stand-up, the open mic competition, that is even really a competition anyway, if I'm correct. It's more just just kind of a gag with a belt. And then people take pictures. Sometimes the venue uploads these pictures. Sometimes they don't. It's really on whoever wins to promote themselves and upload pictures and promote whatever happened. She was very upset that was it her or another female comic didn't remember to post the winning.
Right. So she was upset for herself, but she also tagged another girl who, by the way, did not want to be a part of this at all, to try to rope her into it, to try to make it a girl power issue. And
I'm confused when you said female comic. What is that?
It's a rare beast that does not exist.
It's a woman pretending to be a stand-up comedian.
Allie, can I just say I'm so
It's
happy
just another word for
just a woman.
I'm just part of adult female daycare.
I'm at a loss.
So she had trouble because she was not getting the recognition that she felt like she deserved, and then she promptly,
which is done.
Right. So then she promptly posted a TikTok video announcing her intention to destroy comedy with the power of feminism, and she said she was gonna. Right, she was gonna be screen grabbing everyone's responses. She felt like they were gaslighting her, and she was gonna be putting
in order to become a better comedian, she was going to steal other people's jokes. Wow.
Yes. And then she's gonna write
what a
book.
shock.
She has to delegitimize everybody else in the area because remember, Theo, she was only concentrating in the Spokane area, nowhere else. It's just very central, is very localized.
What?
Activism.
Right. So she was going to destroy Spokane comedy with the power of feminism, and she was going to be writing a book about it. And she said she didn't do comedy because she wanted to be good at comedy. She was only doing comedy to become a better writer so she could publish this feminist treatise on why comedy is sexist. Because that's what everybody wants.
Become a failed author, but with extra steps. Got it.
Right. Yes. So, and because that's what everyone wants. In their hobby is somebody who doesn't really want to do it. They just want to destroy it.
That sounds like a book I want to read. Like
She's really hot.
Undersexed, probably smells weird.
Wait, Arza. It's a book.
All of that applies.
Why would her being hot matter if it's just a book?
Well, he said that he wouldn't want her in his hobby. I said only if she's hot would I want her in the hobby.
Yeah, and so we're gonna dive into it.
Standards
You're
are
already
quite
that's
low.
a,
I remember you, and your standards are quite low. So
No, okay.
That's what ours is known for.
I have two standards. I have real world standards, and I have on stream standards. Don't forget.
Yeah, remember, Arza will also, if pussy's not available, he will accept dick. So
exactly.
No. I am incredibly picky in the real world. I will have you know.
He's so horny. He's willing to switch teams, which is tough. That's a tough situation.
I mean, his ear is pierced, so
right.
What does that mean?
What's wrong with my ears? I both too.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're young. You don't remember the 90s.
I wasn't alive in the 90s.
But I remember
damn
the
it.
90s. But
What was
it's
the gay
1
year?
year's gay.
Yeah, it had to do.
only
It
one
was
ear's gay.
the
Both are fine.
right ear. I
The
think.
right ear, yeah. Which that's why I specifically had the left ear
Yeah, you
pierced.
can't
you know.
even get the ear correct. Like that's
Yeah.
cute.
Well, you see,
Doesn't
I
he have both
drew
ears pierced?
wrong, so I just
Yeah.
did both.
Vaughn Coleman is here. Favorite Gooning show. What's up,
Precious.
buddy? Toasty is here.
Oh,
What's up?
Yeah.
Toast
Stay
is here. What's
professional,
up,
Vaughn.
girl?
Stay professional.
Representing the big booty Latina contingent of the 4%. What's up, girl?
Vaughn is
will-
like the opposite of Arza. Like where Arza has
terrorist?
0 standards, Vaughn has too many standards.
Right.
See, but at
And
least I
they're
can get
both
away with
secretly
having-
gay.
And they're
Yes.
both secretly
There's
gay.
no
They're
secret
perfect
about
for
this one,
each
Theo.
other.
Honestly, I've been shipping them the whole time I've known them. It's a matter of time.
Aw.
I
See,
think
can
that's why I
see,
keep.
I'm okay with this
Cute.
just because I know Vaughn is a bottom. So
He's not that
Right.
good of a runner.
Like that's the only thing that stands in the way of their love is that they're both bottoms.
And
That's the issue.
Vaughn is getting
It's
that
just-
like regal hair to balance out your balding.
Right.
Like,
It's perfect. It's his
Regal.
regal
Oh my
hair is
God.
like it's perfect for pulling. He's just
what's wrong with my Jack Nicholson hairline?
yeah.
There you go.
Not a damn
That's
thing.
okay.
Not
It's
a
a
damn thing.
distinguished
Now,
hairline. It's distinguished.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So anyway,
Now, if only you had the Jack Nicholson personality to go along with it.
Comedic talent, you know.
I mean, isn't it unestablished? Like, it's not taking up much property.
all right. Let's before we
Just
Anyway.
because my head looks like the
I'm sorry.
McDonald's
Diana's
logo
here.
isn't
What's
a big
up, girl?
deal.
Thank you for hanging out.
I'm ruining everything again.
That's okay. You're doing great.
Tell
Alan,
me
we're
about the
happy you're
baby
here.
reindeer.
Anyway, so we're gonna do this baby. Anyway, so this woman. So I started watching this woman's TikTok after she did her TikTok declaring that she wanted to destroy Spokane comedy with the power of feminism. I started watching her TikToks religiously because I study crazy women professionally. It's what I do. I spent half my life dedicated to the subject. Some of the research
So
was a
you
little more
study
hands-on.
all women.
Yeah,
That's
Allie, can I just say again, I'm so happy you're here.
Of course you are.
Some of this research is more hands-on than others. This was more of like observation, right? What I didn't realize.
Okay, but I want to establish before you say that again that I'm insanely anti-simp and I don't appreciate that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm happy you're here professionally. I find you sexually repulsive. Does that help?
Oh, good.
Good. Okay.
I am.
Good. Yeah,
Highly
that's
repulsive. Don't look
good.
at me.
I assume there's an odor as well. It's not personal.
Oh no
I'm just,
no! I smell like Halloween. It's great.
Oh God, yeah, no. Please keep that far, far, far away from me. Anyway,
I'm trying to lose weight.
that's all right. So where was I at?
you were researching.
Baby
I was
reindeer
researching. I was
research.
researching. And what I didn't realize was
15
that
minutes
every
after
time I
dinner.
looked at this woman's TikTok profile, it would send her a notification that said Theo Snodgrass has viewed your profile. Didn't realize that.
Oh, really? That happened?
Yes. So
What is evil? What
So
is
this is
that?
where
I didn't know
this is
TikTok did
where
that.
Oh God.
this is where
Wow.
She even drew a little arrow and circled it. Theo Snodgrass.
You know, bitch, you could just
Stop
crop
being
the
a
image.
nosy bitch and work on your material because that 10-minute feature at Tease was painful.
that's now to be
So
fair.
remind me, who is the
Was
one
it-
that gets paid to do comedy?
so
Oh,
she
that's right,
went-
this guy.
She went
Right.
and saw you live.
Right. Well, okay. So for context,
What?
that was a weeknight. That was a feature on a Tuesday night at a dive bar that I did for $20 as a favor because and this was right after I had come off of a big road trip. So I think this was offered to me as sort of like spite to demonstrate that to kind of keep me in my place. So I was a little bit passive aggressive and I used that as an opportunity to try out some new material. And the way that I try out new material is that I kind of just say something vile to a room full of people and see how they react. So that I
Valid.
believed in it. I believed in it, but it's sort of the revision process. Anyway, yes, but that's a good question. If you're asking Strider, it's a good question. Which one of us gets paid to do comedy and which one of us does it to destroy it with the power of feminism? The answer is I'm the one that gets paid and she's the one who's destroying it with the power of feminism.
But she went and saw you live. Isn't that what that means?
Yes.
So she paid to see you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, she was.
I was assuming she was performing.
No, well, yeah, she was okay. So there was an open mic prior to that. So I'm assuming she was there to do the.
But you
open
didn't
mic.
watch her performance.
No, I
Why would you?
was kind of checked out.
You already know it's not going to be funny, so
no, I was kind of checked out. But I'm not super invested in other people's comedy. I actually don't find it entertaining at all. Right. Comedians are narcissists. Like I purely care about my own material. I don't give a fuck about other people at all. So
well, they're also deeply depressed. So
it's both. So all right. So if we could go to the next one. Anyways,
what does this have to do with Baby Reindeer?
We're getting there. Okay. So continuing. Can you pull up the next one?
I'm lost.
So basically she started calling me out by name. Do you have the one where she's rebuking me with the power of arts and crafts, where she wrote my name on notebook paper?
Oh, cute.
Yeah, what started that? Like, I mean, it's weird that TikTok even lets you see their viewers, but
yeah,
so she's a bad comedian, obviously, because she's a woman, but also she's like artsy. She's like crafty.
So then this popped up. When this popped up, I stopped watching her shit immediately. Go ahead and play that.
She's like doodling your name in her notebook.
You're muted.
Dear diary.
That's okay, because these are copyrighted songs.
Am I muted? Am I muted?
You were.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you let me know if you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Is she a witch? What?
The power of feminism compels you.
I just don't understand how we got here. So the timeline, right? Like this was the first thing you saw, or the last picture was the first thing you saw?
I did see that. That's the first time I've seen that. I didn't know she had posted that because I'm not checking her.
Is she a Christian?
No.
No, she's feminist.
Not at all.
She's utilizing the power of Christ. Like, what is happening?
Not at all. Not at all. So
why is she saying?
She's doodling your name in her diary.
Yes.
She loves you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're getting there. Allie, don't give away the punchline. Don't give away the punchline, Allie.
And every time she thinks about you.
Oh.
This is gonna be good.
Okay, so we'll go ahead.
I tell the future. That's what I've done.
So do you have the one where she says, Theo, admit that I'm beautiful and terrifying or I'm going to block you?
I do not. That one was deleted before I could archive it.
No, I have a screenshot of that one. Give me 1 second.
Okay, pull that up. So pull my stuff down.
Just to theorize, like what made her like this you come into her consciousness to even write this and then make a post about it.
I don't think this woman has a lot of consciousness.
We covered her on Touch Grass and you made fun of her on Facebook.
That's not related. I don't think that...
Well, yeah, I'm like, is she seeing that? Like,
no, she's not.
What happened is several people on the show...
Hold on, guys.
On the show went and commented on her Facebook post.
This is purely in response to me viewing her TikToks, as far as I know.
Wait, people from this show went to her Facebook?
No, this is purely in response to me. She doesn't know any of you.
Ooh.
No, but that did happen, Theo.
No,
remember, the first time we covered it, we covered the Facebook thread. And at least one person from this show, I forget who it was, went on and they said something on the Facebook thread. 1 to 2 people did that.
Well, we got to ask Ryan because if anyone would have been
back.
back.
Commented.
Okay.
He stalked her TikTok after she stalked him to a comedy show. What's the timeline of events here?
Because we're missing the entire Facebook thing.
Oh, right. Okay. So
which thing happened first?
God damn it. I think the reason we're missing stuff is because everyone's talking. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Blaming on us.
My fault again.
Yeah, always us. So basically, she does a comedy thing. She gets a stupid belt for doing stand-up that wasn't even funny. She gets mad because the club, which doesn't usually post photos, didn't post a photo. So she makes a Facebook rant about that place, about how her and her other female comedians are being oppressed and not being given the recognition they deserve by citing another female comedian on Facebook.
So
Who
for
didn't want
myself,
anything to do with it.
and I'm sure I'm not the only one, I get that part. So how do we get from there, that there being point A, to the post about rebooking Theo, which is point B? How do we get
Great
from
question.
point A to point B?
I can answer.
Because
Great
Theo
question.
was TikTok stalking her.
Okay, guy.
Yes.
So she's checking out who's viewing her fucking videos every fucking post?
She
Yeah.
only has like 7 followers, so yeah, of course she is.
Yeah.
And it's like, even so,
On
who cares
TikTok?
if he's viewing your stuff? Isn't that like, what? Why would you care?
Wait, how are you a woman on? How are you a feminist on TikTok and you only have 7 followers? That's like the easiest place.
A very
to be a
good
feminist.
question. Well, either way,
Is
she's
that
interesting.
bad?
So, like, what brings us to now is the better question. Like, how
Great question. Great question. Hold on.
She's
There's
that
one
bad
more.
at her chosen.
Iron, I
One at a
just,
time.
so I just DM'd you a screenshot of the other TikTok I want to show
Okay.
because this is the timeline. So is this? So she posted this arts and crafts project, and then she posted this, the one that he's about to pull up. Because
Okay, let me get that pulled up.
She's already like, I'm Mrs. Snodgrass. Like, this is her. This is her desire.
great vagabond is here.
Hey,
You're
Vagabond.
joining just in time, buddy.
Man, you got a good green screen going on.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Hold
bad.
No, it's
Got
good.
a lot of weird
How
shit
should you
on
bad
this
that you
screen.
Oh, I
have
don't
a
have a
good
green
green
screen.
screen?
All right. So
Not
we're.
letting
Oh, my
me
bad, I
pull
look
it up. Let
professional.
me just
Oh,
Can you
just a
guys
second.
hear my background?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Just
A tiny bit. Yeah.
Very slightly.
Is it not letting you
Wasn't
pull it up?
about, I think about it until you said it.
There we go. Okay. So she posts this. Can you guys read that?
Yeah, start liking my
It's-
shit and admit you think I'm both beautiful and terrifying, or you're getting blocked. Theo.
Now,
Oh no!
Oh,
Yes.
she has
Don't-
6 followers.
Don't get blocked by her.
yes. Now,
Golly.
okay. So I did not admit that she was both beautiful and terrifying. So she blocked me, then unblocked me to DM me, what do you want? Then blocked me
Cute.
again, then added me on Facebook.
Aw.
Whoa! No!
Yes, yes.
Oh, God.
Wait, what's her relationship status on Facebook?
I don't know. I assume divorce.
Oh, that's an interesting one too.
Oh,
Make sure you doesn't say it's complicated.
No, she's divorced, but she lives with her ex-husband, I believe, is the situation.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
Of
that.
course she is.
It's a whole thing. So then
Was
that's
she
what's
sitting in the chair?
So then following that started this next series of purely unhinged TikToks, which is the ones we want to show now. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Okay,
This is making me tired.
it will.
Gassed up mids have a
How-
tendency to do that.
How are men like alive? Like you guys, you poor guys. Like what is this?
Well,
Yeah.
it's the reason why everybody hates me. It's called horniness, Allie.
Yeah.
Horniness for that?
Nobody hates you.
Yeah,
I
can't.
Okay, so
Hate me.
go ahead and
What is
wait,
this?
go ahead and read
Wait,
that
this is
caption.
her.
Yes. What is the
This
caption
this
say?
cat woman with who looks exactly like you would think that she looks.
Yes.
This is her.
100%.
Your
What is
biggest
that?
Giving
fan.
your people bad names.
Read that caption.
Now, I'm gonna
Yeah,
read
you're
it.
gonna have
Okay,
to.
so I'm just waiting for there to be a lull so I can talk. All right. So I can't zoom in anymore. I'll play it and then I'll read the caption.
Stop watching my page before I post what you're looking for and you have a stroke. And another thing, stop watching my page before I post what you're looking for
Wait.
and you have a stroke.
Huh?
Is
Now,
that
the
her real
caption-
voice?
No,
No,
that's not her
no.
voice. She's using a voice.
This is a
Why-
this is a
wait.
TikTok trend where girls will lip sync to weird quotes.
Okay,
And I don't
but
understand
why
that.
why is she digital black facing then? Like isn't that against
Exactly.
her religion?
Because she's an
Black
inconsistent feminist.
But only some of them believe in that, and only when somebody else does it.
Now, I'm going to read the
Right.
caption because it's too small. Everyone I know in person needs to go away, except Theo Snodgrass. I messed you when you weren't checking in.
What?
Wow.
Bro.
To reiterate,
She's in love with
everyone I
you.
know everyone I know in person needs to go away, except Theo Snodgrass. I messed you when you weren't checking in.
I mean, it's just the fact that she has like 0 followers and then she's also targeting you, it's just like her whole entire TikTok presence is literally dedicated to you.
Yeah. It's me
And
hating her
without
mom.
watching without the context of us making fun of her on this show.
Have you alerted the police?
No,
Yeah,
but
Maybe you
and-
should.
can you pull up the most recent one? 'Cause this is-
Have you guys seen
Yes.
So I Married an Axe Murderer? Because
Yes.
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
I'm
one of my
watching
favorite
that
movies.
movie right now.
My mom's made me watch
Like,
movies
that's what
3
I'm watching.
times. I don't remember a single
So-
thing about it.
So before we go into that movie, which is great, by the way. So little backstory. That last one was what, Theo? A couple weeks ago?
a couple
Or-
weeks ago, and I have not
Whatever.
looked at her page since.
Right. That was when you first got here. Days have passed, and now she's at this stage in the grief, in the levels of grief. So let me go to this tab.
Oh god.
Hold up. I need to deal with something. You
What
should read
is wrong
Toasty's
with
most
her
recent
jaw?
comment on YouTube. Because fuck you,
Why is her
Toasty.
jaw like that?
Hold on, guys. Let's play the thing.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna play it, then I'm gonna read the caption down in the corner.
This probably copyright music.
I will. Yeah, I only played 4 seconds, so we're good. Me over here sad that when I blocked. Let me repeat that. Me over here sad that when I blocked Theo Snodgrass, he gave up. Aw.
The fuck?
Did you give up?
Her
Oh
chin
my
juts out further than her top teeth.
Typical-
This is weird.
Typical woman. She's like, leave me alone, but don't leave me alone. I wanted him to try. I told him to go away, but I wanted him to try and come get me.
If he wanted to, he would.
No wonder
Yes,
she's
queen.
divorced. What a psycho. How many
Yeah.
cats does she have?
Worse,
Now,
worse
less
than
than me.
cats. He has a husband who simps for her and the TikTok comments, by the way.
Right. That's
So-
true too.
So this
Wait,
one
you
was
said,
in
You said she
between.
was divorced.
Yeah. He lives
Or
there.
an ex-husband is some sort.
Dude, she's still going on. Like, what is this bit?
We do want to point
Is
out
this
she's
getting her
done-
any views? Like, what's going on?
No.
There's like about 20 to 23 views per video. This
That's
one was in
nothing.
between.
That's-
This one was in between the two. This applies to like 8 people, but I'm really only upset about one.
Oh my
Then was
god.
a friend, and you abandoned me. And I will never forgive you for that.
What?
So, dude, 23 views
Then
on.
was a friend, and you abandoned
Oh my god. I
and
know
I
what's
will
happening.
never forgive you for that.
I can tell you.
But
I
what
can tell you exactly what's happening. You know, Amber Heard. She was diagnosed with histrionic personality disorder, and
Fuck you just say?
histrionic women with Amber Heard. So women with histrionic personality disorder, they have a tendency to think that relationships are closer than they actually are. This woman actually believes that you guys were friends, like in her, and it's part of her personality. She
Well, I think it
believes
might be-
this to her core.
Theo, can you highlight Toasty's
She's
comment?
psychotic.
Yeah. No.
No, not that one.
No,
not
no,
that
no.
one.
Not
Go
even,
back,
not even
like,
8 beers
Toasty
in.
comments, because she threw a very strong stray at me, and I don't know how to feel about it.
No. Oh, no.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I can't see that now.
What better
Yeah,
time
you
to
got
play?
Oh no, she might be
What
able to
better
rock
time to play
Theo's
this
world.
then?
Dollar store purchase I've ever made.
You lucky?
No.
Oh my god!
Oh, God.
Oh,
Somebody
God.
put Ars's face on that. This image right here. Somebody put
Or
Ars's
just clip that
face.
at your own expense. Wait, so is her voice really that deep?
No.
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 Or was
That,
that
no,
was
that
a
actually
pending
is her.
audio?
that
That is her
another one?
voice.
Okay, I didn't
No,
know if that
that's her
was pending
voice.
audio or
Oh,
not.
Do it
fuck.
again.
Play
Theo,
it again.
I think she wants to
Now
rock
that
the
I've
world.
been
The best
jump
dollar store
scared.
purchase I've ever made.
You lucky?
Yeah, I can definitely tell who's the giver, who's the receiver in this relationship.
Oh
Ew.
boy.
Oh, God. Please
No,
get that off of
hold
my
on.
screen.
Theo,
Comedy.
What?
Theo, I think she will rock your world. You should go for it.
No, thanks, man. I'm good.
Like I said, please
women who have that personality disorder, they also tend to be hypersexual.
No, thank you.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is
Theo,
a
you
lot
have
more
no turn
in
on your
line
bed.
with what
Maybe
Toasty with
10 years in.
Theo,
I
she
think
could
with
do
Toasty-
everything you wanted. You should go for
One
it.
at a time.
No, thank you.
Oh no, I think you should try.
But I think this what she actually has ties to something Toasty with the most he's dealing with. I think she's got borderline personality disorder, BPD, and because this is exactly what Toasty's been dealing with Alyssa Mercante.
Yeah,
she's been doing the exact same shit minus the sex part to Toasty this entire time.
But that's why I think it's histrionic instead of bipolar or borderline.
And I want to agree with Allie, because
Just
she
very
thinks she's
specifically the relationship stuff.
yes,
Well, that is
she's
a part of
going through
borderline
a
as well.
breakup, and just Theo doesn't know it's a breakup.
Theo,
Dude, if Theo got involved with her, he would be Johnny Depp in a year and a half.
Oh,
I guarantee it.
What I think Theo needs to do is to post a show he's going to do in Vegas in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance, and see if she shows.
No. So
Vegas.
Theo, I think you should go for it. It's going to give you more writing material for whatever happens afterwards.
That's okay.
If he lives,
I don't think that he should, because she'll suck his soul out, and it doesn't even matter if he.
That's what I'm saying. She's see, the only reason why a guy would stay
and not in a good way.
Amber Heard relationship, because they know, even though the girl's psycho, there's some benefits to that, and Theo knows what I'm talking
zero
about.
benefits.
No,
Theo,
thank you.
You need to go try it and
Don't listen to this man.
Vagabond, you've learned nothing in your life. You've told me about some of your experiences, and you're like,
ex in prison or something.
Was it that bad? Eh.
Well, I got
Are
stories
you
to
the
tell.
one who? Are you the one who lives in my town?
Oh, in Georgia, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
that's the
Don't
other
listen
black
to
guy.
this man.
What did I say that was wrong in Georgia?
Theo, don't listen to him.
What's wrong with Mr. Feet Lover 69?
What?
No, Theo.
But the
I think
fact
you
that
should
she's
try it.
is repeatedly making this joke and she's only getting like 20 views, which 20 views for a short on TikTok is like just somebody scrolling.
20 views for a feminist on TikTok is insane. TikTok is like the easiest place for a feminist to grow. It's not even funny.
Yeah, but that's why I like
Wait, is this a song? Did she write a song about you?
Oh my
not about Theo, but it's still good. It gives us a little insight. Here, let's play it.
So I'm learning the guitar, but I think that I'm already great at it. I wrote a whole song. Ready? Fuck you, mom.
And a surprise to absolutely nobody.
I should respond to her. Who's this Theo guy you keep talking about?
Oh Lord,
Vagabond's ready to go in for the kill.
No, you know what you should do? You should tell her that if she comes and meets you, you'll let her call you by his name.
Oh, I ain't going for her.
Oh.
That's all. Theo.
I've seen that movie. And I tell
His name is Stitch. That.
and she keeps spiders. My God.
Is it it's a jumping spider? She caught a jumping spider. And
Jumping spiders are way smaller than that.
Well, she deleted the video that we were commenting on before, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what happened? What happened next? I want to hear this. I want to hear how this keeps going.
This is stressing me out. Like, I don't know if I can handle this.
No. So again, I am not responding to this. Like that's I'm not.
That's the only way to deal with the narcissist.
I have ceased watching her videos. I have ceased engaging with her. She also has a beef with my buddy, by the way. It's the one black guy in Spokane, and she's convinced that he's going to inflict gang violence upon her.
Oh yeah.
Because
I'm tempted to make a TikTok just so that I can throw myself on the cross for you because I'm worried for your safety now.
Yeah, me too. It's fine.
But she lives in your town.
What was the whole deal?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada now, so I'm relatively safe.
You know, you should totally mess with her and send her anonymous letters, and then don't even write your name. You're just gonna put sign
dude,
TS, and then like,
No, she thinks that they've dated now, like for real.
well, I know.
No, and it's here's the thing. I can tell what happened. She misinterpreted the fact that I was watching her. By the way, it's your public TikToks. This is not like a private account. And I was watching it because she was being crazy in public. And this was a great opportunity for me to, I thought, study crazy women without having to get involved.
Whatever you study,
she
you also
thought that
change.
she thought you were doing a different type of studying.
How did you think that could be ever happen? I was going to study crazy woman, and I didn't think I'd get involved somehow. What? Acting crazy?
To be fair, Theo almost got his kidney taken at that bar.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this crazy woman would let you study every inch of her.
That's cool. I'm good though.
Well, now that ours is saying that now that somebody said that, or Tosi said that she looks like him.
You know she smells like rancid goat milk.
I do now.
That's when the fish smell fades.
What's this video?
No one was.
Sorry.
Oh,
What's it?
like
What do you have for
Horse rider.
Well, that's about it for her TikTok. I think we've
you should invite her onto
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I'm thinking about it.
Like invite her to touch grass to talk out your differences.
Oh shit.
Oh my God. Vagabond, are you in love? Are you trying to live through Theo vicariously?
No, I just think it's hilarious, honestly.
She looks like the Crimson Chin, Nate said.
Let's get that off my screen. I don't want to see that.
Oh no.
Those laugh lines are not laugh lines. Those are frown lines that are stretched to their limit because she doesn't smile.
Well, yeah, look at her eyes. The smile's not in her eyes at all.
No, this is dead doll.
So Theo, rank her on a Spokane level.
Oh boy. No thank you. No thank you. I'm okay. Look, look. I'm
She's
not gonna
probably
lie.
a Spokane 7, 8.
Yeah, Spokane is rough waters. You gotta understand. It's slim pickings out there. So I'm not surprised that this happened. I just didn't think. Again, I didn't think that this was going to be a huge issue. I thought I was just going to be able to watch her TikToks without consequences. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen. And, I didn't know that I didn't know it was going to get this far, guys. I really didn't. I didn't think,
Oh, you didn't?
So
No, I did not know it was gonna go like this. I didn't know I was gonna get name dropped multiple times. I was just trying to like study a crazy woman from a distance.
I mean, have you not seen Jurassic Park enough to know that's not going to work?
Apparently not.
Was that it? Just her trying to think that y'all are in a relationship? Was that the last video? What was the most recent one she did?
Yes.
Yeah. When was that posted? The most recent one.
Yesterday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The last one with the sad music, the one that had the caption, let me find it real quick. Yeah, me over here sad that when I blocked Theo Snodgrass, he gave up.
Hey, dude.
I was not interested in the way that you seem to think I was interested. And I'm sorry for the miscommunication, but it's not what I was looking for.
You know what you could do as an experiment now? You could see to make her based.
Yeah, let's pour gasoline on that fire. I'm sure that'll go great.
Yeah, let's see if I can gaslight the crazy woman into pretending to be a trad wife. Let's see if I can do that. Bro, honestly, if she started making TikToks where she started doing TikToks making sourdough bread and shit, I don't know. We might have a conversation.
Well, here's the thing. You're a hardcore feminist or you're a lesbian until the guy that you likes you back. Let's be perfectly clear. Like, women's sexuality is a moving target.
You fix her. I have the utmost confidence in you.
The thing is, she wants the feminism to be dicked out of her. Let's be perfectly honest. She's so desperate for any kind of male attention.
She's just waiting for Theo to come along, and she would totally change all her whole belief system for Theo.
No,
I already know it.
Well, Here's the thing. I'm anticipating like a dynamic where they're both fighting for ideological dominance over the other, but she wants him to win, but she's gonna put up a nasty fight, so it seems like he dominated her.
Oh, it won't just be ideological dominance.
Well, no, it will be ideological dominance translated in the bedroom. Like there'll be entanglements between the sheets, and they'll be talking.
There will not.
Benefits of traditionalism versus
Theo, I think you can fix her. Drunken Emerald is right.
I'm actually straight on that. Thank you. I'm good. I'm super good.
Yeah, we're not saying you're not straight. After all, that is a woman. Mostly, I think.
Only technically.
Oh, I just want to acknowledge everybody in the Rumble chat. We're not ignoring you today. We're just short a producer, and we lack the intelligence to bring up the Rumble chat and highlight your chats, but we do see you guys.
And to be clear, Theo, because you can't see it, Mom's Mystery and Mayhem, Gina did gift a sub, and that was received by Professor Savage Dad, who probably didn't deserve it.
Excellent.
Hey.
Okay. Hey, by the way, guys, we have the Stream Elements tip jar. Every donation to the Stream Elements tip jar is going to go to me and Iron doing a studio show. So we're going to try to upgrade the production quality around here. We're going to be doing some cool stuff. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could throw some money towards that. That would be awesome because it's just going to go straight to there.
Man, when you do the studio, I could probably come through. Hopefully this time not on Frontier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
I feel vindicated because people now are exposed to the foolishness of Frontier Airlines.
Oh man, yeah, guys.
Black activities and airplanes don't go well together.
It's terrible, dude. This is the burden I face. Being a public figure. I have to struggle with this kind of attention somewhat regularly. This is not the first time that a crazy woman.
See,
Toast.
I'm gonna just say this: Toasty has the right idea. Look at her last chat.
Hold on, let's pull that up.
And let's just listen to this white man talk about his burden and his struggle.
I'm just.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Can we stop encouraging this woman, please?
I'm just saying.
Not encouraging her. We're encouraging
I guarantee she would change her whole life just for you. She'll probably even stop doing TikTok.
Oh boy, that's good.
You're probably doing humanity a favor.
Well, Theo, based solely on intertitle here, I have a feeling that she'll be waiting for you.
No, that's really okay. God, I gotta fucking. Oh, this is nervous. This is live on Facebook right now. So I hope
this is on Facebook.
Oh no.
Oh
yeah. That's all right.
Oh wait, she's following you on Facebook?
No, she added me on Facebook. She added me on Facebook, but I did not add her back. But my Facebook is public, and I have almost 3,000 followers. So I have a public Facebook profile because it's a networking tool for comedy.
Oh,
so
she's gonna see
this. That was my next question. Like, what are the odds that she would ever see this stream? They've gone up exponentially now.
Yeah, well, because I'm doing it in public. So
we're
it's
all
like
in the crosshairs now.
Here's the thing: I would feel bad shit talking her in private. That's just gossip. This is me responding to her public. By the way, haven't name dropped her, haven't handle dropped her.
Yeah, I don't
not,
Yeah, it's not going to make a difference. But I look forward to you getting a turd cut on your bed.
No, what?
She just uploaded. She just uploaded.
Okay,
give me a minute.
I bet she's watching this as we speak.
She's watching this live.
100%.
Yes! You ever thought about oiling yourself up for me?
What the fuck? Wait, okay, hold on. Let's bring this up. Let's bring this up. I already shared the screen. Let's bring this up.
Theo, if she's truly watching you, you got to invite her on Touchgrass now.
No, do not.
Oh, yeah.
It would be.
Give me just a second.
I'm not going to be there, but yeah, you have to do it.
Yeah,
I would totally be there.
Smoke near that gas pump by yourself.
I would be there to witness this.
Oh boy,
I have never been so excited.
Okay, hold on.
Stop being excited. Stop being excited. Stop.
I mean, I'm scared for your safety. But I'm
not scared for my safety.
I was gone for a second. So she's live watching you right now.
I think so.
Pretty sure.
Maybe.
Just
Well, hold on.
upload.
You need help, lady. Please go and get help.
No,
Well, there's no
Theo, you
post
need to
on
invite her
Facebook
on
live
Touch
chat.
Grass.
Oh no, she's not watching on the
changed it.
Facebook.
Will.
So who wants to read it?
I will.
Who's Will?
I see you checking my page, Will, and I want to say I always thought you were a great man. I talk about your corn dog lint roller joke frequently.
Oh, thank God, that's not
when
about
comedy
me.
was a more moral.
Oh, it's
place
not
for
you.
Oh, that's not about me. That's about another comedian. Oh, thank
Oh,
God.
Okay.
I was gonna say who.
Wait,
your
hold on,
name
She's
is
stalking
Will.
more than one.
That's so weird. Like maybe he like ran into this person and then just like, oh, let me check out her profile and then
Maybe
She's
like
watch like
she's
2 or 3
actively
videos.
checking
And
her
You
then-
know,
news. What the
If-
hell?
whoever
it's quite
this Will,
possible. It's quite possible she's trying to use bigger men's platforms to try and like jumpstart her own thing.
you know, it would be
That
funny if
is
this
possible.
Will guy ends up like similar features of Theo.
Yeah, maybe she's moved on. This is a good sign. This is a good sign. I don't know who Will is. I thought that said, I see you checking my page and Will. So I misread
Yeah,
it.
I get it.
It's still
That's okay.
creepy.
It's
It's
still
still
weird.
creepy. Poor
Okay.
Will, wherever you are.
Okay, Theo.
Fuck
do you-
Will! Not our problem.
That's true. That's very true. But this woman's unstable.
Theo, you don't happen to have any lit roller jokes, do you?
No, that's definitely not about me. That's definitely not about me. I just went ahead and blocked her on Facebook real quick, just so that this doesn't.
Oh, don't be a pussy.
We
No, I'm gonna be a pussy.
Pussy.
I'm gonna be a pussy. I'm not doing this. No,
No, I mean, no. When
Absolutely
a monster is stalking you, you get out of the area. That's what you do.
Yeah, but he
He's out of
just
the
said,
area.
I don't want to do this behind her back. And then all of a sudden he gets scared because he thinks that she's posting about him. Then he's like, oh, let me go block her.
Oh, check
Yes,
your
you
donos.
you
Hey,
just
hold on, hold
turn
on.
tails real
Yeah,
quick.
I can
Toasty
totally
said
negotiate.
check your
One at a
donations.
time, guys.
Hold on. Check my donations. Hold on. Let's.
we should get this Will fellow on here and
I would
start
love
like
to.
a
So yeah, let me. So a quick
a
story about
support
Will.
group.
'Cause I know him. I did his. Oh yes, Toasty just donated $6.69.
Thank you.
Ew.
Phased. Big thank you to Toasty. Yeah. W's in the chat for big booty Latinas. Sweet girl, if you are ever in danger of getting deported, I will marry you. I will take care of that. We're gonna take care of that. I'm not letting you leave the country, sweet girl. I got you.
So I think you should invite that lady on and then just have me and Toasty moderate the whole thing.
There's no moderation.
That's
no
true.
I feel like, you know what? I'll invite her on my channel. Like she can come on my channel, just me and her.
Right, and you could sit her down girl to girl and be like, hey, maybe do better.
If you think that I would be that nice, you're adorable. No, I would rip her to shreds.
You're pretty.
In response to Toasty's most recent comments,
you're
Theo has enough
pretty.
hair for
No.
both of you.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't play with women that way because they're all crazy. And I know how they work. They do that when a woman tells you as another woman that she's pretty, she doesn't mean that you're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
What
That's
she
true.
means
It means that you're dumb.
what she means is that you are now filed away in her brain as someone that she can attack in the most passive aggressive, spiteful way possible.
Yep. You are so right. You are 100% right. Yep.
That's why
Look.
women can't be friends with each other.
No, and if they can't do that, then that's when this happens. Let me share my screen real quick.
Wait, it's not the one in Mexico, right?
What did she do now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, Ali, we talked about this last night.
Yeah.
Is this the same chick?
No, this is a different one.
Cut from the
This
same
is-
cloth. I don't blame you for making that distinction.
This is just to reiterate your point, Allie. When one girl is always compliments another girl that she thinks is pretty and they're bestest best friends, it might not always end well.
Well, I have
case in
face
point-
blindness, so I can't tell the difference between what people look like. That's why I asked.
Okay. But if you know, you know.
The
Yeah.
TLDR of this story is that this mid bitch got her hot friend killed, murdered, in fact.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Mexico.
Like in
TikTok.
real life, not
Cartel
in
hit and
Minecraft.
everything. She went all out.
Yeah. Yeah, live on
my
TikTok it happened.
Yeah. Kind of sad.
Wait, was this just the other day? Was it that chick
Yeah.
that was like dating a cartel member?
Yeah.
Yes. So the backstory here,
Oh my
Allie,
gosh.
is that friend that was her best friend that I just showed you.
Yeah.
So she's at her salon and she's ready to stop streaming and go home. Her friend's like, no, you're having a good stream. Let's stay just a little bit longer. Well, just a little bit longer led to a delivery man showing up and ending this poor girl. And right after that happened, the best friend calmly picks up the phone, shows her face with that look on her face, and ends the stream with a look of satisfaction.
Yeah. It's like, you're not even trying to
Yeah,
hide
so,
the fact that you're
again-
complicit in all that.
Yeah,
Now, to be
again,
fair, there's also
repeal
potential
the
things that it was-
19th.
They're Mexico, so.
Yeah.
Remove all women from power. Remove all women from power, because with just the tiniest bit of power, that's the stuff that we do.
Well, to be fair, it was a guy who pulled the trigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
you had to
it doesn't
coordinate with
matter.
her friend, and her friend
Yeah,
was
but was it-
willing to.
No,
Her friend was
don't,
more
don't
than
Two to
remove,
tangle.
don't,
That's what I'm saying.
no, Mr. Sauce, don't remove
Mr. Sauce.
accountability.
Oh, well, no, I'm not
women are
removing
dodging-
accountability. I'm
Yes, you are.
adjusting
Yeah, Bat Sauce,
accountability
quit saying,
accordingly.
Boo this man in the chat. Boo this man.
Von Coleman
Boo.
coming out, sip sauce.
Hashtag
No,
sip
no, no.
sauce.
I'm calling you
Women will
Mr.
do
Sauce forever
anything.
now.
Women will do anything to dodge accountability, and it's people like Mr. Sauce that are like, no, it was a man who did it. Yeah,
Yes.
do you know why the man did it? Because he was asked to by a
Yeah.
woman. He wouldn't
Right.
have done it if a woman hadn't have told him to. Remove all women from power. Men need to stop listening to women.
Yeah, well, he also
Remove
needs to not
women
listen
from
to her.
being
I
teachers.
just
Like,
Well, that's a good
we
point,
are
Allie,
not-
but she did say that if anything happens to her, that her boyfriend's to blame. So it could have been that the female friend was in on it, not the one who put the hit out,
yeah.
because there was cartel links to her boyfriend. That
Yeah.
was the
I'm
risk.
saying it takes two to tangle. You know,
But the
Like,
underlying
guy has
story
the
is-
ability to not listen to the woman.
This
don't.
doesn't change. Okay, she
I don't have
probably
the
didn't
ability to
have.
not listen right now.
She probably didn't have the hit put on her or anything like that. It probably was the ex, but she was complacent. She showed zero remorse. In fact, she looked pretty satisfied with the outcome.
She's happy about it.
So whether she was, oh, you have to keep her there, or threats and blah blah blah, she seemed to be like, yeah, okay,
Mm-hmm.
because again, this would
Men-
likely not
men don't
happen
do-
within a male
Men don't do
friendship.
this to each other.
Mm.
Yeah, men don't do that to each other.
Yeah, they do.
Not as
They kill each other all the
we-
time. What are you talking about?
Well, no,
Yeah,
we do it.
not-
We do it face to face. You know,
Not
we
with
don't.
friends.
To
Two friends
quote
aren't
What are you
two
doing?
male
Wait,
friends aren't
There's
gonna do that.
plenty of men every day they get fucking put to their
That's-
knees and blown their
That
fucking
is
brains
true.
out. What
Not
are
by
you talking
Yeah,
about?
but not through deception.
Yes, my friends. What are we talking about? What do you
Yeah.
think happened to
No,
Biggie
he's
No,
not by
Smalls?
friends. He said
The
not by
fuck?
deception.
No, not by friends.
I think that 100% happens,
Yes.
but I agree with Bat Sauce, but at the same time, just pointing out that this girl seemed to be very, very in on the thing.
Oh,
male
yeah,
friendships are
100%.
still a lot stronger. This is less likely to happen with men, but it's still, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, the
If
behavior's
this
there's
usually
a lot of
different.
nuance there.
If
That's
this
what I was-
woman hadn't have gotten a man to do it, she would have poisoned this girl's drink or something.
That's what I
Women
think.
don't do
So-
it. Women don't do things directly. We use poison, or we use men to do things for us. She feels like her hands are clean because technically it wasn't my actual hands. Like that. That's what is happening here. And men, who are friends. These women called each other friends probably, and they're, oh, we're tight, we're besties, we party together, we go clubbing,
Mhm.
girl. Like
So
that's what they did. If two men hang out and build a car together or roll a rock down a hill together, like
yeah,
they're
sometimes.
not
So
gonna
passive aggressive
get another
behavior
man to shoot them. Like,
is
that's
com-
movie
is-
stuff.
is definitely womanly behavior, but that doesn't mean that men aren't capable of womanly behavior. dealt with
I
a
guess
lot
they
of.
are now, but it's because
Look out
of
for the bitch
women
maid.
training them to grow up like that.
I mean, that just
Like
that
a
means
man
those,
who does
like,
that was raised by a single woman.
not
There you go.
always.
That's true.
Yeah, but
Absolutely, 100% of the time, I would die on my
Theo,
own.
bringing Allie on was a great idea. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Thank you. But don't say that you're happy she's here because that will be simping and she will lose respect for you. So,
Yeah.
Allie, we
Right.
hate that you're here and we wish that you were not.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's not what simping is. That's not what simping is. But I
There you go.
appreciate the thought.
I think it was.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Speaking of womanly behavior, Vaughn Coleman's in the chat. What's up, buddy?
yeah. Right there, evidence. Look what happened to my car.
Everyone's favorite twink bottom is here. And then
What does that say? I still have friends from what?
he still has friends from who fuck kindergartners, I think.
Wow. Yeah, that's how I read that.
Oh my
That's
God.
weird, Vaughn.
That's weird that
Yeah,
you
a
would say
little
that in
sus, Vaughn.
public.
Little sus.
I think
No,
it's
I
weird
have-
that he says he still has friends.
Yeah, we met you, buddy. Speaking of having no friends, B.S. Warren is in the chat. What's up, buddy?
Hey,
Oh my
So
God.
few friends, he had to make up fictional ones. All right. Go ahead and smash
That's
that like
another-
button, everybody.
That's another thing about men v women, though. Like, when men don't compliment each other, they're openly rude to each other. But that's a sign of respect, and it's a sign of fraternal enjoyment. But all women do is compliment each other in person, and it means nothing.
Yes.
It means the
I'm
opposite.
glad Full Metal Nate's in the chat. You hear that, Nate? When guys make fun of each other, it's because we care.
Yeah, it's a term
Right.
of endearment. If a
Yeah,
guy's
absolutely.
if you're in a circle of friends and you're not getting shit on, then you're the one no one likes.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah, you're the guy that we can't talk to because you were raised by a single mom and you'll freak out about whatever we say. And
I'm right here, okay.
Now, for the record, I did not say Nate. I was just saying, generalizing it. Ours is the one shitting on you, Nate.
I would also like to shit on
Blame
Nate.
the
For the
gay
record.
man. Blame the catty gay.
That's a fetish for him. Don't.
there are very few women that are going to behave with each other in ways that are healthy. And it's partially because we were raised by single moms too. And the only way we know how to behave is how those moms behave toward us.
Yeah, that is
It's
definitely
a
a
survival
problem.
mechanism that we have a really hard time moving out of.
No, it's tough. Yeah, it's well, and okay. So men shitting on each other actually performs a very important social function because one of the things I need to know about you if you're going to be friends with me as a guy is I need to know how you're going to perform under stress. And if you can't take a joke, then you're the kind of selfish asshole that's going to abandon me in the trenches, right?
Yeah,
like
dude,
you're the-
have my
that's
back.
actually backed up. Jordan Peterson talks about that in 12 Rules for Life. He's like, men, that's how men test each other. We got to know that in a crisis, you're going to keep your cool and you're going to be okay. And you're not going to be overly emotional. You're actually going to be able to cover my ass if I need it. It's the way that I can rely on you. And that's the way that they oust the people who can't take a joke. You know?
I've had women who were my friends for literally decades turn on me in an instant over nothing. Well, okay, wait. I have an example. I laugh reacted to a friend of a friend's post that was absolutely racist on Facebook.
At least
And
you're honest about
I
it.
had been friends with her
hilarious.
since we were both 11, and I was, we were, I think, 32. We had been tight friends for that many decades. We went to middle school and high school together, spent time together, and then her friend, who she barely knew, said during COVID that she was gonna no longer see white patients before black ones. She was no longer gonna do. She was a therapist. She said, if I have a room full of patients, I'm gonna, no matter who's gotten there first, and no matter who has what problem, I'm gonna see all the black ones before the white ones. And I laugh reacted because that was racist and she's going to lose her practice or get sued. I didn't even comment. I just laughed. And 5 minutes later, this girl that I had known our whole lives, I helped her homeschool her children. Like, we were tight. Okay? 5 minutes later, why'd you laugh react to that?
Now, hold on.
And
I think
now
that this...
she's cut me off. I'm blocked. And she hasn't talked about me. And she told everyone in that friend group to block me. And guess what they did? Now my entire friend group from middle school and high school doesn't talk to me because I laugh reacted to something that was messed up.
Well,
and a man wouldn't do that.
Your chief crime here was going against the sisterhood. And actually, and I love how Andrew Wilson, he was on
the sisterhood.
Well, that's the thing. Andrew Wilson was on the Pearl sit down for a little bit, and he actually brought up a really good point. He said basically liberal women and conservative women are very, very similar, and if you want to see the sisterhood in action, they will instantly unite together. If a man is on there saying something about one of them, all of them will instantly group together because they're women. It's like, that's fascinating. That's entirely true. Yeah. So that's what you did. That's what you did. How dare you go against the sisterhood? How dare you say something to another woman? I mean, that's just circling the wagon.
But I didn't even do it publicly. I didn't even say anything. It was a laugh.
It doesn't matter. You did it. That's the shitty part about it. It's bullshit. I hate it.
And I didn't even know that other people could like see that. You know, like I was just like, that's hilarious. This chick's going to lose her practice and I'm going to laugh. I didn't even know her. I didn't even know she was friends. I didn't even know why this thing popped up on my timeline. I just thought it was hilarious.
I do want to say,
what?
Your therapist friend, I think, is actually a genius because if she gets all the black people out of there faster, the odds of anything getting stolen significantly decreases.
Yeah,
this is wonderful.
Well,
that's my people.
Yeah, this is
smarter, not harder.
This is important. It's unfortunate because, like, you know, men have to form cooperative hierarchical relationships or they die. They have to, and unfortunately, women have to compete. It's in their genetic
and women
interest.
can rely on simps to remove accountability for us.
This happened. Okay, I have a story about this.
Life on easy mode.
No, I was at a comedy club one time. It was before the show, and I was sitting down with a couple of my comedian homies, and he brought his wife and a bunch of her friends. And the kitchen at the bar had just closed, but I got there early because I'm a fucking professional. So I had some fries left over, and the girl was like, "The kitchen's closed." And I was like, "Well, I have some extra fries. Do you want some fries?" So I hand her my plate of fries, and she says, "What? No sauce?" And so I turned to the guy next to me and I'm like, see, that kind of entitlement's why I got off Tinder right there. And then she didn't take that well. And she was like, "Oh, well, you're a comedian. Well, let's just see how funny you are." And I was like, "I don't think you're the target audience for my joke, sweetheart." And she's like, "Well, who is the target audience for your jokes?" I was like, "People who should be allowed to vote." Now, that's what got me in trouble. So the way she responded to this is she said, "You're canceled. You have to leave the table." And I was like, "That's ridiculous. I'm an adult. I don't have to leave the table."
She verbally said you were canceled.
Yes. And she said, you don't have to. She told me to leave the table. And I was like, "That's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that."
How old was she? Like 5? 30s. What is that?
30s. A full adult.
Allowed to be TikTok brain. I think the internet's
for
really
women,
light.
a 30 and 5 is the same age. Let's be honest.
We're basically adult children because we've been
most
allowed to be that way.
But this is what things escalated. So I just turned to the guy next to me and started talking to him because I was like, all right, well, this conversation's going nowhere. And so I started talking to him. So she whispers to her friend, who whispers to her friend, who whispers to my buddy's wife, and she gets my buddy to come over, who's a lot bigger than me, and kind of take me outside and yell at me. It's like, "You're causing problems." I was like, whoa, hold on, because I de-escalated.
So she got a simp to do her dirty work,
and he
because
told
she
me
knows that if she did something, you could easily put her down.
Yeah, well, yeah, and he told me straight up, is like, "Look, dude, it's my wife. My wife is mad now. I have to take her side." And I'm like, "I totally get it, buddy. I totally get it."
She
buddy.
won't give me a blowjob on my birthday if I don't yell at you now.
Oh, it's not. It'll be weeks and weeks of just hearing it endlessly.
Yeah.
Do you know that
It's like,
reminds
get a
me?
little bit.
Have you guys ever seen The Way of the Gun?
No.
Okay, it's a super underrated movie, and right in the beginning, this is what this reminds me of. Right in the beginning, Sarah Silverman has a cameo, and it's got Ryan Phillippe and Benicio del Toro. Or no, yeah, Benicio del Toro. When he's like hot, you know how sometimes he's ugly and sometimes he's super attractive. It's hot Benicio and Ryan Phillippe, and they're leaning on a car, and Sarah Silverman sees them, and she starts screaming at them to get off her car, blah blah blah. And her boyfriend, who never mind, but her boyfriend starts yelling. He's like, "Okay, you have to get off the car, guys." And Ryan Phillippe says, "Shut your bitch up before I get over there and fuck start her head."
Using it.
And then she's like, "Are you gonna do something about this?" And her boyfriend's like, "Fine." And he goes down and he's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up." And then they all, and then Ryan Phillippe punches Sarah Silverman right in the face. And whenever I feel down, I go and I watch that scene because it feels real nice to watch. But that's what should have happened. Like, that's what should have occurred. She deserved that. Like, she deserved a punch in the face, because part of the reason why men don't mess with each other in a mean way is because you guys know
You're gonna get socked. Yeah.
that it'll hurt if you hit each other. But
When
we
men
don't
fight,
know
there
that.
are consequences.
Exactly,
When women
there are
fight with
consequences.
men, they don't get to know
Even
that.
when women fight with women, it doesn't hurt. You think the 3 fights I've been in with women that I won, do you think it hurt me when they hit me?
Established that she wins.
It
like
didn't
fighting a
hurt
hamster.
me.
Give it up.
It didn't hurt anything but my pride. You know? But like, if a man hits you, it's gonna hurt. Like, you're
Not always.
Well, unless
across
that
the
man happens to be
room.
bat sauce.
No, with
Dude, it has
with
to have like a
almost
little bit of
zero-
truth in there.
almost zero
on.
effort, a man can easily hurt a woman. Like she will fly across the room like the Hulk has just pushed her. Like, it's not even funny. That's why you see every time there are videos of a woman and she like smacks a man at a bar, and all he has to do is smack her back a little. He's not even trying. And she flies across the room and gets past and gets knocked out. Like, more women. Okay, what's his name? That guy, that Scottish guy. He has a whole interview with that one bitch from 60 Minutes or whatever.
Sean
where
Connery?
he's like,
Sean Connery.
Yeah, Sean
You're
Connery.
thinking Sean
He has
Connery is
a
a
whole-
Scottish guy.
Yeah.
Right?
I always forget his
007,
name.
you know.
I always forget his name. I've never seen those movies. But he has a whole interview where he's like, no, sometimes you need to smack a woman. Like, and it doesn't even need to hurt her, because that's not the point. The point is the shame, the embarrassment, the like, and it'd be so easy. Like, you guys have to know this, because when you're growing up, I guarantee all of you have a moment
we know
where
this.
you were play wrestling or you hit a friend or something, and you're like, oh crap, I'm strong. I can hurt someone.
We've been on the
There's
earth for
you
more than a
mentioned
couple years. We know we're
You know
vastly
this.
stronger.
Women don't know that you can hurt them.
Well, there was a whole
And
trend
they
a few
think
years
that
ago.
you won't.
Well,
there was a
it's
trend where
not so
all
much that they don't know that you are capable.
they don't know.
They think you won't.
No. That's
It's
actually Ali's right about this. Like, a lot of women.
literally do not
Okay,
know.
you got to understand. Women have been subjected to 30 straight years of propaganda where 90-pound women have been beating up 200-pound Russian guys in movies, and also we've completely disincentivized domestic violence through cultural norms. Like, it used to be
And
in our
you
grandparents'
never hit a woman.
generation,
Don't hit a
old-
woman.
the old people
Never do that.
would fight. Grandma would say something about grandpa's like tiny dick. He'd smack her upside the head. She'd start making the potatoes, and that would settle it. They'd fuck, and it'd be over, right? Like,
That's part of why I Love Lucy Ricky's always got her over his lap and he spanks her. That's part of why it works.
So I do want to put out
that's just foreplay.
I do want to put out
she's on, and then she's on her best behavior afterward because she did something stupid and lost all their money or embarrassed them. And then he's like, "You got splaining to do," and he puts her over his lap.
The whole reason you're not supposed to hit a woman is
cries.
because we know we are capable of doing that. That's why you don't hit women.
Yeah, but now women don't know.
You think about it. I think men do instinctively know not to mess with each other because we know that even at our weakest, we can still fuck each other up. But women don't understand that because women have not been in a world, and frankly, they're not supposed to, have not lived in a society, lived out in nature where they have to kind of behave and not start shit, because the whole point of society is to protect women and children, as you're so fond of saying, Theo. So the fact that women don't understand violence, don't understand the capability of being hurt, that's not surprising considering that they really do not live in the world that men do, because men are used to.
Look, I think it's just women, like very liberal women, and then women that just can't hold relationships. They don't know that. But if you're in a relationship with a man for any amount of time, they're gonna realize, like, oh yeah, like the way that you can just open bottles and shit like that. Like that doesn't make sense. You do all these things around the house. You're like, wow, you're much stronger than me, like by like tenfold. It's just there's so many things evident when you're in a relationship that shows that.
Connect in our minds that it can happen.
How did it connect into your mind then, Allie? How did it connect into your mind?
Here's the thing. Okay,
how did it connect into my mind?
Yeah.
I got beat up by my ex.
Okay.
Here's the thing. There was a trend a few years ago where a bunch of women were posting how they didn't know how strong their boyfriend was until they wrestled. Not like sex wrestling,
I remember that,
playing wrestling. And all these women, like, I realized this guy can kill me. Like a lot of women at the same time just like play wrestled with their boyfriends and like, holy shit, I can't move him. He will kill. He could kill me if he wanted to.
Have you ever been in the situation? Have you ever been in the situation where you're helping a girl move, and she thinks she's helping, and you're like, and she's like, this couch is really heavy, so it's gonna need both of us, and it's like, just move. I can do it myself, and you do it yourself, right? Because she's just in the way. Right. This is why I like big bitches, man. I like a girl with functional strength. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of moving by myself. I want a girl who can move a queen size mattress up a windy flat of stairs. You know what I'm talking about?
Because that woman can be on the front lines handing you ammo as you load your machine gun. You know,
that's what I'm saying, bro. Big bitches are slept on, bro. Big bitches are slept on. Shout out to big bitches. W's in the chat.
Absolutely.
No, I like women who lift weight too. Like girls that this. By the way, this half hour of the show is brought to you by women who deadlift.
Better yet, women who.
But like every woman that deadlifts,
women who deadlift are not as strong as like the weakest.
Well, yes, 100%. I mean, like, and again, it's not every woman's gonna realize this, but it's like any woman that lifts is gonna very clearly see like, oh shit, I've been training for 10 years and I can only lift 1/10 of the weight of this guy that's been lifting.
A bunch of the women who deadlift, I guarantee, still think that they could beat a man who's deadlifting.
No,
they would at least.
They would know that. I mean, just because you see like videos on social media of women doing that doesn't mean that's every girl. I've been to many gyms across the world, and like every girl I see at the gym has been lifting for years.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, no, I can't. Like, I've been training forever. And like, when I'll pull the military card, like with the whole pull-ups, that like just flat out showed that women can't do pull-ups.
Counterpoint to the point, still thinks she could beat men in soccer.
We don't need upper body strength.
Well, the most self-aware women, I will say, around this issue are women who participate in competitive weightlifting and women who do combat sports.
Yeah.
So because that's the direct comparison, but most women are completely disconnected from the physical world. And by the way, that's by design. Like I say, I always say the whole point of society is to create safety and comfort for women and children. It is a barrier against reality. And that has allowed women to exist in a state of delusion.
Become retards.
Right. Yes, they get to be girl bosses and have their made up laptop job that only exists so the corporation can have DEI.
Yeah, where they take LinkedIn courses all day and then say, I worked today.
Yes.
In between eating my fruit cup.
Yes, we did a whole segment on this on the last episode of Touch Grass. Yeah, these are just completely made up jobs where they make 80 grand a year, and then they think that they're better than a plumber, right? And they're too good.
And then they hit 28, and they're like, "Oh no, I need to have babies."
Right?
You're only a feminist as long as a war doesn't need fodder, a pickle jar doesn't need opened.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh no, because now feminists think that they can also fight in war.
No, they're pushing for that, but then none of them sign up to do that.
Yeah, it's a very not in my backyard.
They might not sign up, but they think they can.
Yeah,
like
they think someone else. They think another woman can. They don't think they.
I've
can.
seen tons of women say like, "Oh, women can fight, on the front lines. We're just as good as men." And it's like, I guarantee you, there's no way that any woman can carry even a little backpack for 30 yards. Like, it's not happening.
It will actually break their hip bones.
Exactly.
Because that's like what the tests have all shown. And I'll agree with you on that. There are women that like think that,
and they've done studies that show that not only do we suck at that stuff, just physically, but mentally we can't do it because we've just not been prepared that way. But also, it makes every single person, men and women, less safe and less effective.
You don't want gaps in your line.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
so like women's bodies were
that you can
designed for weight in the front. So when they're having heavy packs like that, it ain't good for the bones. Not to mention that the bone density is different for women as well. So it's just like all this stuff is working against them.
Our knees are built totally differently because of our hips.
Yeah.
So we can't even do the same exercises. The reason why I tore my left lateral meniscus, which is usually like a football injury for men, but I did that because I had a male trainer who was young who didn't know that men and women are different. He had like feminist tendencies, and I was like, these side lunges really hurt in a way that's not just because they're a new thing. And I'd been working with him for almost 2 years. He's like, no, it's fine. Just go deeper. And I was like, okay. And I did. And I ripped my left lateral meniscus and I had to get surgery and everything. And he didn't believe me until I had my doctor contact him, because she was like, yeah, I got the exact same injury because I had a male trainer who didn't know that men and women are different. Like, it's actually psychotic.
Yeah,
it hurts women harmful to think that we're the same.
That's incredibly true. So I don't know if you guys remember the discourse around The Last of Us 2 when that came out, and then
Last of Us 2, the first time.
You mean the ugly little girl?
Yeah, there was no. So the video game when it came out, the main character who's played by Caitlin Dever for some reason in the show, she was super muscular. And the discourse online was anybody who's trained with weights is like, women can't look like that without steroids. And a lot of feminists were like, nuh-uh, because women have a hard time with averages. So they're like, nuh-uh, here's this woman who had like a weird genetic disorder from the 50s and she was muscular.
They think the exception is the rule.
Yeah.
Bingo.
They think the exception is the rule.
They're always posting pictures of chicks on steroids. I want to
put a button on this before we get off topic. So the thing is, the actual fitness model that video game character was based on is literally a CrossFit athlete who is on steroids.
Yeah,
like literally is. So this whole discourse, and this discourse where feminists are like, nuh-uh, women can get this muscular. That every woman who's lifting weights now believes if I'm not as muscular as I'd like to be, it's my fault. Right. So that actually is incredibly harmful to the body images of women in the weight training space if they think it's their fault. And it's not.
Actually wrong a little bit.
The
body model is that.
Sorry.
It is a man's body model in The Last of Us 2. They actually looked at the body models. She has a man's body model. They added breasts too.
Yeah. Well, mosquito body. Well,
we don't even grow muscles the same way that men do.
Well, it's actually kind of funny is that in the game, in context, she doesn't get into a whole lot of physical altercations with men, and by the end of the game, she is captured and strung up and pretty much like tied to a cross by the end of the game by a bunch of men. So even though she's built like a tank and beats up on Ellie, who's like a full 2 feet shorter than her and like 6 inches shorter on 6 inches shorter around. It's even the game is kind of secretly, like, hilariously unintentionally based, because Neil Druckmann is like, oh, here's this big woman. No, I'm good because I'm a good feminist for her. But at the end of the day, I still have to write. He still has to write a story in which she is subjugated and tied up and emaciated because of a bunch of men capturing her and starving her, which I think is kind of hilariously unintentional.
It was just his sexual fantasy. That's all that game was.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She was definitely a trans character.
Well,
like, it was definitely intended.
Neil Druckmann or whatever the guy's name is. So after the first game came out, he was at a seminar from Anita Sarkeesian, and that's where he changed his whole point of view.
Ew.
And that's why The Last of Us 2
Amy
changed.
Hennig. Well, also Amy Hennig,
Also,
the co-writer of
he's
the
a
first
simp.
Last of Us, was not a part of Naughty Dog at that point. So now we know that most of the genius of that game, most of the legitimate good writing of most video games that she's a part of, that's all her. That's not him. So it's actually kind of hilarious. And if you look at some of her interviews, she's kind of based in a way, because I think a number of years
Sarkeesian.
ago. No. Amy Hennig, the co-writer of The Last of Us Part 1, which she was not there for Last of Us Part 2, which is why it sucks so bad, and which is why it just exuded Anita Sarkeesian male feminist behavior. But even she is on record saying that she herself, as a veteran of the video game industry since the 90s, she said, I have not faced a whole lot of discrimination because I'm a woman in this field. I don't really know what you're talking about. And no wonder Naughty Dog got rid of her, because because the woman would not toe the party line. And as a result, we got probably the worst. We got the video game version of The Last Jedi that everybody hates, no one considers canon, and that's the reason that Part 2 is failing so badly, because nobody takes it seriously.
So she admitted that nerd culture for a long time really loved accepting women into it, and did pretty much whatever women wanted because they were desperate to be around women.
Exactly. Well, this is the reason why. She had already had a lot of success, so she knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that she had made some really bitchin' games. But do you realize the only people who are making that argument, that are like, oh, women can't succeed in video games, were like, who the hell are you? We don't know you. We don't know why you're even here. We don't know what talent you have, or what talent you do have is actually kind of bullshit, or whatever you've been able to offer us is nothing. So the only people who say that are talentless.
Well,
yeah,
really,
and those are the kind of women who make up like stories where they're like, my brother was always in the nerd store and I wasn't allowed in there. And it's like, I guarantee you, because I experienced this back in the day. I don't go very many places anymore, but when I was younger and I was hanging out with guys who were nerds that like to play D&D, or they still had LAN stores that at the time where like you would go and you'd all play games with, I think I played Left 4 Dead. All I had to do was walk in there, and it could be a bad hair day or whatever. Like, they didn't care. They were just glad that a woman was there. Yeah. I didn't even know how to play, and I got a lifetime VIP membership for free to a LAN store where I could go back in there and play all the Alienware in 2006. That was all really nice, and I sucked. I wasn't good. Like, I'm in there trying to play Left 4 Dead, and they're just like, oh, would you like free drinks? Like, oh, thanks so much for being here. Come sit by the window, like, so that people see that women are here. Like, there's no way that any woman who goes into a nerd store, at least before now, because now nerds are wising up, there's no way that any of them ever faced any real problems. The only time I ever had problems was this one guy at a random store who said that I couldn't buy a dice set because he said it would be too heavy for me. So he offered me some like purple ones. And I was like, I think I'll be fine. Like, I can't imagine these dice are going to be that like heavy. Like, what?
No, milady, your feminine arms are too delicate for such heavy dice.
He wouldn't even let me look at them. I was like, but they're pretty. And he's like, no, I only sell these pink and purple ones to women because the other ones are too heavy. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, this is the first time I've ever been in a nerd store where they've actually like been weird to me about that. But
You don't
fine,
belong
like, I guess
here.
I'll leave.
He was still
great.
trying to be nice, just in
That's
the,
great.
the wrong
Yeah,
way.
he was just
it
fucking
was
it up.
weird. I was like, I guess I can't carry like what metal are they made of that it's like hyper dense metal? Like,
metal dice are pretty heavy.
No,
Yeah,
but,
but
I just want to say,
heavy.
like, outside of like the banter areas, like online play or whatever, or like competitive play, I'm sure every guy here could say like, hey, if a girl, when you got a girlfriend, even if she didn't play games, you would like, oh, hey, this is Legend of Zelda, and hand her a controller and try to get her into games or whatever. Or, you know, it's just you wanted this, like, having a cool gamer chick was always like a thing to try to have or whatever.
Yeah, but there was never a cool gamer chick.
But then
well, I know that, but what I'm saying is like the you know, guys in general are open to having women into these fields. Is not a particularly female like oriented thing that they want to do.
Well, the problem is those were women that were interested in what it was. With Anita Sarkeesian and a lot of these others, these are women that are not. They do not like what it is. They want to change it. So if there's no general interested.
They were interested in it because men were interested in it.
100%.
They couldn't stand, like, these women don't even realize that they can't stand men doing something that pleases them without them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's why women get into football. They don't actually like football. They just don't want their husband or boyfriend having fun without them.
A great example of this is hockey right now. Hockey is doing everything they can to appeal to women and basketball fans. And the way they're doing this is they're getting rid of fighting and they're heavily limiting checking. They're making it so it's basically wrong to check somebody in the sport. Checking is almost completely not seen anymore because it's banned in female hockey and they want it to appeal to these groups that have no interest in it.
Wasn't there a guy that like killed another guy or something though?
Okay, yeah, that was different.
That's part of the risk of hockey.
But, this
wasn't part of the risk. Fuck out.
So
yeah, but this guy like
so
slit
what
his
happened?
neck
What happened?
with his-
What happened
with
was
his-
That wasn't a brawl though. That wasn't a brawl.
No, it wasn't a brawl. What happened is a player. We're the European League, so no one who matters. And this player who was losing, I think he had got checked previously. He's like, well, I'm skating by this guy. I'm about to fall anyway. I'm actively falling. So why don't I kick the guy? Because I think I can get away with it. And he fell steeper than he thought he did. And instead of hitting his padding, he accidentally hit it in the neck.
I think it looked that way, but every hockey pro that I've talked to, they're like, it was 100% an accident.
No, it looks like he tried to kick him, but it looks like his foot missed where he wanted to go.
Iron, what are we looking at here?
We're talking about hockey now, so it's not important. But this is Neil Druckmann in an award store praising Anita Sarkeesian for. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that his real name?
No, his name's Druckmann.
I thought it was Cockman.
Yes.
The Ambassador Award honors an individual who has helped the game industry advance to a better place. Anita Sarkeesian's work has done just that.
Why does this guy look like greasy?
A feminist and a media critic, Anita is a fan of popular culture, and she believes that it is one of the ways in which we learn about ourselves and the world around us. And that part of being a fan is to celebrate characters, stories, and programs that we love, while simultaneously being critical of the myths and representations that media can perpetuate.
Many of the titles we've been discussing, the game makers have
You're
set
not
up
gonna
a
make us
series
watch
of
4 minutes
possible
of this, are
scenarios
you?
involving vulnerable.
Hold on. Why are you putting Dishonored on there? Dishonored is such.
She worked on Dishonored.
Does not apply to this. She doesn't play.
She worked on Dishonored.
She didn't play it.
Dishonored 2.
Stop. She worked on it after she fixed the problems by making working on the
By
sequels.
making it less fun.
Dishonored 2. She worked on
her job was like a consultant. So you say you're a company, you make a game. She would come in afterward and be like, here are the areas that is problematic for women, trannies, Oh, sorry if I said that online off YouTube.
It's all right.
Sorry, YouTube gods, forgive me. So
I don't think the YouTube gods get mad about that anymore.
oh well, whatever. Mama Susan, I'm sorry. And then and so but basically they would just so yeah, you make a game, she comes in,
they consult on
this is what you need to change and blah blah blah, and then she would leave, and then you would go, okay, let's follow these changes or not.
Yeah, right. It's just what's like very similar to getting Sweet Baby Inc. to consult.
Yeah.
And like I like Dishonored, and I agree. I think Dishonored 2 is still good, but she did in fact consult on those games.
Well,
she did not consult on Dishonored 2. She did not. No, that's wrong.
She's not credited on a lot of that, but the roots are the tendrils are definitely there. You can tell a mile away. Same thing as
so the only thing that goes to that is they said that they added that part of only a part of the reason why Emily is playable in the second game is because of the influence of Arnita, which is bitch made to say that, but she fits into the story well, and the way she's implemented is not something that Anita would have done, because she would have been the girl boss, and you would not have been allowed to play Corvo at all if it was for Anita.
Well,
and one thing I want to point out,
everything is racist, everything is sexist, and you have to point it all out. So if you hire this woman, she's gonna sit there and say that your entire game is problematic, no matter what's happening in it.
Yes, because she'll always find something. And I want to bring something up real quick. If you look at all of these titles here, these are the games she considers problematic in this video. And if you look, The Witcher 2, that's a good example, because the sequels are now looking to bomb because of the direction the game's going in. You go to Saints Row, they're not even around anymore because of the influence that they had in the games that came out after that. Far Cry, another great example. We're going to see what happens with Grand Theft Auto, but there's a lot of Fallout New Vegas.
Oh yeah, that's the one nobody likes, right?
Assassin's Creed.
No, people love New Vegas.
No, people love New Vegas.
It's overrated.
Wait, so is this a list of games that she...
No, these are games that are problematic.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood that.
These are games that have negative portrayals of women, is what she's saying. These are games where women are put into situations they shouldn't be, improbable situations, so that they can be saved, is what she said.
But what I think Iron was getting to.
I'm just trying to finish my point real quick, and then I'll back out. Okay. All of these games have sequels that have failed or have not been as enjoyed by the fans for the most part. Ones that had sequels. Saints Row is a great example of that. Assassin's Creed, another good one, because they were either injected with feminism, DEI, or all of the above by Anita Sarkeesian, Sweet Baby Inc., and etc. I'm done now. There you go. You guys have
what's so funny about Black Flag is that looking at it at the time, I was you can definitely see the traces of the modern audience in there, because they definitely treated some of the female pirates as girl bosses. They're not as much as proto girl bosses the time that they're in there, but by the time you get to Assassin's Creed, like even Unity had a little bit of that in there. But it's just like this gradual growth over time. And then by the time you get to Syndicate, they actually have a full-on Troon in there that is not historically accurate. This person did not exist. And even in Black Flag, they had one. It was a woman disguising herself as a boy to avoid.
No, Strider, that was a real person. Strider, that was a real person.
No, in Black Flag, yes, but not in.
Yes, that was a real person who did that.
Yeah, I knew that. Like,
real pirate.
To be fair, for the Assassin's Creed series, the reason why they're failing is because once they moved away from Ezio and the whole lore of like, hey, your DNA has memory of your ancestors, and we're going to use that to like try to find these artifacts. Once they moved away from that, that's the downfall of the Assassin's Creed series, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Besides the DEI stuff that's secondary.
You're exactly. Yeah, I do. I think it could be column A, column B. Because
and how much are they charging for these games that aren't fun to play because they just inject politics and brainwashing into your face constantly?
The prices remain steady pretty much for the past 15 years. The problem is the budgets have ballooned like crazy, and now and you start to notice all of these sequels are starting to go toward, and this is something I've been noticing for a while. There's a reason that all of these games are starting to look very similar the more their sequels go by, because they're being made in Unreal Engine. And any idiot with a laptop and $70 can buy Unreal Engine and learn it. That's why The Witcher is not going to be the Red Engine. It's not going to be CD Projekt Red's own game engine. It's going to be on Unreal. Same thing at the Arkham
Well,
stuff.
hold on.
Unreal,
I have to defend Unreal for a minute because
no, I'm not saying Unreal is bad. I'm just saying it is easy for people to learn, especially if you are a DEI higher college graduate looking for in the industry.
Well, hold on. I have to defend Unreal still.
Well, I'm just saying everything. It's easy for them to learn, and therefore that's why everything looks the same now. And
wasn't there a game they released that was literally just like mapped over another game, literally?
Hold on, I have to defend Unreal for a moment. Unreal is just you still as someone who makes games or want to get back into it. Unreal's not the problem. Unreal's just a stable engine. You can make the game look like and do whatever. Them looking the same is nothing. It's not the fault of Unreal.
Well, it partially is.
I wasn't saying that. I was saying the lack of skill is why for all of these people all across the board is why it's all looking like shit. Because Ubisoft doesn't have any of the original creators, neither does CD Projekt Red, nor does even Bethesda. Like, look, the Fallout franchise is kind of. I think you'll still have your fans, but it's not going to be as big as Fallout 4.
Well, when it comes to the art aspect of them looking the same, that's because most people are when it comes to AAA studios is
outsourcing.
Not even outsourcing. We all it's like when a bunch of people found out about like they want to make their art look like Studio Ghibli, and so everyone does everything to imitate that. The thing is, they found one studio that's like, hey, they're successful at this thing right here. That's not the fault of Unreal. Unreal is pretty much an open source to do what you can make it look like whatever you want. There's different types of games that Unreal Engine you can use to build with. That's not the fault of Unreal. It's the individual developers trying to imitate another developer that made something else before them.
Interesting. Okay.
It's not just the fact that they're basically going with the stock options. They don't have the skill to stylize. So what they're doing is just the default appearance under Unreal, basically.
It's like
if you're familiar how to make textures and stuff for games, so Unreal uses a thing called blueprints. I use Unreal myself. So there's a thing called the blueprints make things easy to animate and stuff like that. But you still have to make textures for your individual objects, items, and people, or whatever. And that could be generic looking, depending on what the studios are putting into their texture maps in the first place. That the texture Unreal has no control of the texture maps that other studios are making. They still have to make those by hand. The problem is a lot. It's like the same thing once Fortnite came out, right? Not Fortnite. What was the first battle royale game that came out?
PUBG.
PUBG, and then H1Z1 and all those. Call of Duty, and every studio started, okay, we need to make our battle royales too, and everything just shifted. Instead of trying to be their own franchise, be that, and that's actually what's happening. Is, hey, this company was successful in this game. Let's do everything to copy this other company, and that's why they look the same like that.
All right, this has been fun, guys, but we're going to pivot the show back to misogyny for a minute because that's more my wheelhouse. Go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
Fire sometimes, though.
Okay, put it out.
I don't know how to put it out.
Stomp on it.
What? I want to let it go.
Then let it go.
What are you?
What is happening?
That's a Chinese lantern she's holding.
I don't know how to put it out.
Stomp on it. Put it down and stomp on it.
I don't know how.
Then
grab it.
Let it go then. Pick one. Pick one.
Stomp it out for me.
Pick one.
Stomp it.
Let it go or put it out.
Stomp it out for me.
Put it down then.
It's too strong now. The whole thing's burning.
Let it go.
How?
Let it go.
You believe in me?
Let it fucking go or put it out. Pick one.
All right, the guys.
What if we cause a fire?
Right now.
No.
I seen this one chick where, when the people be putting the Mentos and shit in bottles and like running away, she's holding the shit and basically blew up her own fucking hands because she just was standing there like a fucking idiot. And My bad.
Decision paralysis.
Let me add some context to that video. So that's a Chinese lantern. You light them and you let them go, and then they float in the sky. And it's
Those
kind of
paper
nice.
ones.
Sweet.
Go
Yes,
out.
and it's kind of nice, but there's a small chance that they could land somewhere and start a forest fire. Now, in this woman's when this woman's holding this, she's at a crossroads because if she lets it go, she might be responsible for a forest fire. But if she holds on to it, it's on fire.
I think it's something different. That I don't think that she's afraid of it starting a forest fire. I think it's that women, in their highly sentimental ways, she doesn't want to get rid of it. She wants to keep it. But because it's on fire, she literally cannot keep it. She has to destroy it or let it go. And neither of them are satisfactory because she doesn't get to keep it.
She did say, what if it lights something on fire?
Yeah. She just had
did say
decision
that.
paralysis. And it's like, that's why I'm like getting annoyed at the guy because I'm like, get in there and fucking make
Yeah,
the
he
decision.
needed to just do it for her.
Yeah.
Right, because that's
Turn
what
the
she
video
wanted.
off,
Just
grab
make
it,
the
yeah.
decision for me. Women
Okay,
don't want to make choices.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Obviously, as a woman, I'm constantly thinking about everything that can go wrong and everything that can go right all the time. And most of the time, everything that I'm thinking about that could happen is not what happens because I'm overthinking everything. Has anyone seen Inside Out 2?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
I haven't even seen the first one.
Well,
It wasn't bad.
Inside Out and Inside Out 2 are weirdly excellent pictures of how the female mind works because she has a whole group of little blobs and their job is to constantly try and find every scenario that can possibly happen. And so that's what we're doing. That's why we like to plan parties. And that's why it's such a big deal when we're like, oh, cool, I have to plan this party. And a dude is like, whatever, just have everybody hang out. You know, like, why is this so hard? And it's because we're like, yeah, but what if someone doesn't like what I do? What if something goes wrong? What if any of these specific situations goes wrong? That's what we're thinking about. We're thinking, even when we go to order food, anxiety is built into our brains. When it's ordering food, it's like, well, if I eat the chicken, then I'm gonna feel like maybe I have to brush my teeth, and I'm not gonna have any gum, so I have to make sure I have gum. Like, and if I eat the beef, then maybe I'll this will happen. Like, that is what is happening. We get really intense anxiety because I swear, even the most like mentally healthy of us have decision paralysis, and And that's part of why men are so great, because you guys don't have it. You immediately make a decision. That's why you're better drivers. That's why you're better. And that's another reason why you're better soldiers, because you're not going to sit there and think like, oh, do I go left or right? What could happen if I go left? 5,000 things could happen if I go left. You're just like, we're going to go left. It looks safer that way.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say we don't have it, just way less.
Well, no, okay.
Men are better at regulating the logical part of it. We know the irrational part, but we also know the logical part, and we're better at juggling the two together.
Yeah.
No, this is actually
Theo and I talked about in the past. This is directly tied to our discussion we had about rumination a few weeks ago.
Rumination.
Yeah. Well, this is actually okay. So this is a really important point that Ali's making, because this is why men and women work so well in complement. Because women have a very creative imagination for everything that could go wrong, and sometimes they're right. So when you're making a decision and you talk to your wife about it, she might have a bunch of ideas of all the things that could go wrong. But at some point, you need to make an executive decision, and after you've heard her out, then you're like, okay, that was a good point. Now we're doing this. And then you make the executive decision. They work well together. Yeah. Right?
And that also helps her focus more, because you made that decision. Now she can focus her mental energies into planning for eventualities along that specific line. I could be wrong, but it could be a little bit more. It could be easier. That's why it's important to make a decision, not just leave it up to somebody else.
And the thing is, like, we're really good at caring about stuff. We can care about everything really passionately, but we shouldn't care about everything.
Yeah.
And men are much better at saying, okay, we're not going to care about this stuff that's far away and isn't going to happen and is never going to have anything to do with us. We're only going to care about the stuff that's happening right now that we can control. That's why there's a million screenshots of chicks who write their husband and they're just like, honey, I'm worried about the economy in China. And the guy's like, don't worry about it. Just make me a cake. And she's like, okay, yay. Like, that's absolutely
based
100% what we want.
I got a very annoying story from this past weekend with my wife, which her like least favorite thing that I can do to say to her is like it's whatever, and she's like, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't whatever. But no, we're going to a car from from a baseball game, and my sister-in-law is there and my wife is there, and we're trying to figure out how to get the stuff that sister-in-law left in our car, and she's parked on the other side, and my wife is coming up with all these different plans of who needs to go where, which direction in the car and route, and I'm like, let's just do this. We're doing this. And I'm like, and then she just wanted to sit there and plan more, and it got to the point where I'm like, whatever, give up, just do another one, and that was a mistake. I should have been more stern on that one. And then I ended up back in my car with no keys to get into the car. So it was just something that was like.
That reminds me of we watched this this movie Empire of Dust, where these Chinese people are in Africa and they're trying to get things done, but nobody can plan anything. No one knows what to do. And it's really frustrating, and they get almost nothing done because they're constantly trying to plan, and nobody has the ability to make anything happen, partially because there was like a language barrier. And that's what happens now with men and women. We're literally speaking different languages to each other. Mm-hmm. And men expect women to behave like men, and women expect men to behave like women. And the reality is it will never ever happen, and we just need to accept that and stop letting women be in control of stuff, because we don't even understand that it's a bad idea for us to be in control.
It depends what it is.
It doesn't depend.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, buddy. They can be in charge of the church bake sale. Okay? They can be. If you need to raffle off a quilt to fund the church, then they can be in charge of making the quilt. Okay?
They can be in charge of making
event planning. Event planning.
But they can't be in charge of selling them or saying that it's going to happen.
Or keeping track of the money.
Planning was like the biggest fucking nightmare for me, and my wife handled that shit, and it was way better for her to handle that shit. It's right up her fucking alley.
This is an important point that you're making, because it used to be, before we had all of our turned all of our women into masculine, genderless wage slaves, women were responsible for community building. And like I will never voluntarily attend a barbecue. I will never voluntarily plan a barbecue. But if I have a bunch of women get together and I am informed that there's a barbecue on the calendar, I will end up there by accident, and I'll probably have a good time. Right?
And one of the
hard to plan a barbecue. Just buy food and cook it on a barbecue.
Yeah, but that's a man's barbecue. Right? I'm talking about a frilly barbecue that has like desserts and potato salad and socializing and cornhole.
Hold on,
like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that unless there was a woman encouraging me, right? But I would benefit from it, because I feel like I will ever learn my neighbor's name.
That's why.
Right. Here's an example of this video. So I had my graduation party last week, and my mom's like, text me like 2 months in advance. What do you want at your graduation party? Like, what food? I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
Do I really have to pick she's like, you have to pick the menu. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Why?
So I had to come like a list of foods that I want. I'm like, I'll just eat whatever. I eventually came up with some stuff, but it's like they want to make like my ideal plan of what I would do for my graduation party is just like sitting around and like hanging out. I don't need like a 20-course meal to.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the graduation is not just for you; it's for the family, and that's what your mom understands. And that there's people that are going to be at that party that need to be entertained, not just yourself, because it even though it's your party, it's not really your party. And then it's like your mom's thinking of shit like, well, Aunt Carol's gonna like throw a fit if there's not something for Aunt Carol. You know,
I think my graduation party is 10 people who usually get together fairly frequently.
It's 10 people. You can have a lot of conflict with 10 people.
But, Beth also is making an important point here. This is so it's women's job to care about
10 men and women.
It's women's job to care about that shit, because men never will, right? So like I don't care if Aunt Carol's upset. That's not going to bother me one iota. I don't care if the party's boring for Aunt Carol. I don't care at all. I don't care if there is a party. I don't. But it's important to the social structure of the community that there be a party. And one of the problems, this is what Allie's getting into about men and women not understanding each other and speaking different languages. One of the problems is I think women are interpreting men not caring about that shit as men not caring about them or not loving them, or he didn't get me exactly what I wanted as a surprise, or I had to express my needs out loud like an adult instead of having my mind read, right?
Well, that's why when you ask a woman, you know, oh, what do you want for Valentine's Day? And she says nothing. That's not what she means. She means she gets a better thing from you because she's the girl who didn't ask for anything. And I'm saying that because I'm the chick who does that.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not like all the other girls because I don't want flowers and jewelry.
Right.
But what that means is you have to get me something that's really, really nice that I am going to really, really like. And that's what my man does now. He's like, here's the Lord of the Rings illustrated box set.
Okay, this is
like,
Vaughn's making a point.
I didn't even want anything, and you listened.
This is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter, Vaughn. They just are, and they can't help
Shut up,
it.
Vaughn.
This is the most based chick I could find, and she's like this. The the only difference between her and these raggedy hoes on the whatever podcast is self-awareness.
They won't admit it.
Right?
Well, they won't admit it, and they're not self-aware.
Yes, they don't have the ability to admit it, right?
More people
they'll admit
would
it,
benefit.
but they'll be proud of it.
Well, no, most women are not self-aware. They haven't reached a level of self-awareness that allows them to realize it. I'm telling you right now. If more women would watch Hoe Math, they would actually 100%.
Friend of the channel, Hoe Math.
Yeah, and they would look in the mirror
That'd be
because
cool.
there's a reason why scenes like in the Neverending Story when Atreyu walks up to the mirror and they say like most men when they confront their true selves, they run away screaming. Women aren't even capable of confronting their true self and realizing it's their true self enough to run away. They'll just say, "Who's that?" But men realize the deeper thing where they're like, "Oh, that's me. Like I have to fix this," you know, unless they've been raised by a single mom, in which case they act like a woman, but they don't even realize they're acting like a woman, which is why they're so confused and sad.
I mean, look at it like this, right? There's a common quote. You looked at the abyss and you blinked. Women just look at the abyss and wonder what color contour that is.
Right. Well, here's the thing. This is the thing I keep driving home.
Women don't see the abyss.
No, you got to stop expecting them to do better because they literally can't. And this is where I think men are expecting women to someday be accountable and self-aware and able to do this shit.
This is a professional show, Strider.
That is never going to happen. You are pissing up a rope if you want women
when you
to
find
be
a woman
self-aware.
who has a little bit of self-awareness and who is able to but is still able to like cook and you're not annoyed by her presence constantly, that's the biggest thing.
Just get her
for a
pregnant.
dude is
Right
you're
there.
not going to be annoyed. Well,
You don't even have to know her name. Just
make sure you share your values if you're going to get her pregnant, so she doesn't trans your kid.
Fair enough.
That's when
the redhead picking stock comedians on the internet.
Okay, let's not bring that shit up again. God damn it.
Funny.
I didn't even get to see how that ended.
This reminds me of a post I've seen a few times going around where it's talking about this one woman who's like discovered thinking for the first time. Like she's like wants to have small conversations about like politics and the economy and stuff like that, but she doesn't really know what she's talking about. And she's like, it's so stimulating and fun to discuss this random topic. It's like doing coke. She literally she discovers thinking and is so enamored by thinking that she thinks it's like coke because she's never actually had to think before.
Did she have big boobs?
I have no idea. I didn't see the picture of the woman. It's a text thing.
Oh, because they did
Oh,
they
no,
did a
okay.
study that showed a correlation between women who thought less and were dumber usually had bigger breasts.
Yeah, well, and I think I think one of the reasons that women have this idea that everyone's
Sorry,
supposed to
guys.
read their mind, especially attractive women, is because things just happen for them. People just do things for them.
Yeah.
And they think it's gonna happen. So they don't, when it doesn't happen, they get frustrated. It's
Also,
just,
look at this.
Yeah.
You're like this as well. You know, when men have to account for what other men are thinking because another man might kill him. Women don't have to account for what other women are thinking because most of the time they are legitimately thinking very similar things.
I don't know. You see, I'll have to push back on that
No,
because men
women
that
aren't going to kill
fit,
other women, though. They're just going to ruin each other's lives.
What are we doing?
Sorry. Sorry.
Men that are fit.
Enough, that's us.
Are fit and exercise and are strong. Don't typically have to worry about other men killing them.
Yeah,
they have to worry about a woman killing them by poisoning their food.
I will say this
their life by lying to them or stealing their money.
In comedy, there's a lot of fatherless, spineless, chinless men, and I can mostly just bully them. I'm like 2 standard deviations more aggressive than the average comedian, so I just dog walk most of these guys, right? It's easy, right? My biggest threat far and away comes from women and men who act like women, men who passive aggressively spread rumors and stuff like that. But biggest threat far and away is women, and it's not close. It's not close.
I mean, when I was younger and much more fit, I'd go to a bunch of clubs and stuff like that, and I'd walk into a room, and I'd be like, there's maybe one guy that I have to worry about. Most of the guys, I'm like, I could destroy them. This is DC. But then I had a bunch of surgery, and I lost a bunch of weight, and then I'm like, I would go into a club and there's a lot of guys I have to worry about now. I don't like this. I like walking into a place and being like, I'll be fine if I get in a fight. And then, it's not the case anymore, walking to a place, but yeah.
I agree with that. When I walk into a biker bar, I feel less safe, but if every once in a while I'm doing stand up at a dive bar and I see the bouncer and I'm like, oh, fuck, he could bend me over a table if he wanted to. But for the most part, man bun and all, I was too toxically masculine for the Spokane comedy community.
You guys have the luxury of being able to look at each other physically and know that who you can defeat and who you cannot defeat. I cannot look at another woman most of the time and know whether or not I can defeat her because she's not going to fight me physically. She's going to ruin my life through other strange social means, or, she's going to get a bunch of male feminists mad at me, or she'll get all our friends to block me. You guys have that luxury. I have to just constantly be worried that at every single moment some chick is plotting to destroy my psyche. And it happens.
What a big problem with this. So online, male aggression doesn't scale online nearly as well as female aggression. And that's something that we're running into with, cancel culture, and a lot of these streaming spaces end up fucking imploding because some woman throws a shit fit and all the simps get their jimmies rustled.
What?
And
we're psychotic. So we will click and click and click all day on everything and see one thing and be able to extrapolate a whole bunch of crap from nothing. It's not even funny how dangerous a woman with the internet can be. It's actually kind of gross and weird. We probably shouldn't be there should probably be some sort of test to keep us from having internet power. Not even just political power or voting power. There should be a test where we're not allowed to be online for the most part. It's actually crazy because we can ruin lives. We have ruined lives. We're by nature psychotic.
That's actually a great lead in to our next video. Arza, could you pull up the next video that I lined up?
Yes,
We're gonna close on this. This is gonna be a fun one. I'm excited.
Is it another from that stalker of yours?
No, we're done with her. We're done with her. That was the last touch grass. We're gonna talk about this.
What's her name?
Okay.
Fuck.
What was her name?
Vaughn, why are women like this? Because, Vaughn,
they can't help it. That's the big thing. You gotta stop being frustrated with reality, my guy.
That's like saying, why are men like this?
I love Emily King.
Men are like this because it's what's most logical and makes the most sense.
Go ahead, play it.
Emily King is a gem.
An old friend, and she was telling me that she got divorced, and I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple, and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored. And she had other friends that had, boyfriends, or like they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, they had a big house, they had nice things, like he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced, and now
This is why you don't let your wife have single friends.
Well, let's let
I'm
the
not
story
even
keep
kidding.
going. Let the story keep going. But you're right.
Yeah.
she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I can hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club. They just want to go to the bar. They just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time.
No self-awareness.
I was all like, well, wasn't that...
What was that?
No self-awareness.
No, go on.
No,
it gets so much better. By the end, it's going to be so much better. Go ahead.
What your husband was doing. And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah.
No.
And I was so confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you're single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids. And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, he already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that?
This is a prime example
Go
of
ahead,
a
pause
woman
it.
making the
Her
mistake
take is
of
great, but we don't need it. That was
Definitely shout out
That
Emily
was
King.
exhausting.
Subscribe to that absolute angel on earth.
yeah.
That was exhausting.
Yeah.
Just hearing that
Yeah.
third hand was exhausting. And good for that guy for finding a new woman who probably is much less insane.
I mentioned it before. Men only desire like one core thing, and it's to not be bothered. And if you're going to waste his time, play games, you're like, I'm bored and I want to have my college days again, and I want to go and like sleep around for a little bit. He's not going to put up with it because he doesn't want to play the game. He just wants to sit back in his nice recliner with a cold beer and maybe some grilling every once in a while. But he's not going to sit around and wait for you to realize that you are satisfied.
Well,
He's
and
just
you
gonna move
know
on.
that
Not to get
you
too
know
personal,
that
but I've been this.
woman.
I
Sorry.
was that guy. Like that was basically me. Like I wasn't the main provider because my ex-wife was the one that earned all the money, but she had worked and a dude worked and gone to school to get a fancy career that like I worked to help her get. And that's kind of exactly what happened. She wanted for some reason, I don't know what happened. I still don't care. Doesn't give a shit, but it still kind of perplexes me. I thought that I gave her everything that she wanted, stable house and like we rented, but still like we were living a pretty good life. And then all of a sudden
You let her work.
she desired the, well, probably. Yeah. But that's the thing, she wanted to. So like she finally got her success.
She thought she
got a taste
wanted
of it.
to.
Well, she got a taste of the masculine role and couldn't handle it, and so desired to and went out and looking for male attention from somewhere else, and that's why we're not married anymore.
This is important. I have a dear homegirl.
Never sacrifice peace. Never sacrifice peace. Someone who does that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
As one of my friends said, if it costs your peace, it's too expensive.
Well,
Sorry,
okay, so I have a dear homegirl, and I've talked about her on the show before. And so she was engaged to a security guard that she'd been dating for 9 years, and he worked so that she could live inside while she was attending law school, right? Then she became a lawyer, and she felt like she had outgrown him. So she broke the engagement, and she dated a couple of polyamorous married doctors. So she gave up being engaged to a security
Ew.
guard to be a side piece for a doctor.
It
And
is always
currently, I
medical
think she
professionals.
just moved in with a bartender who promises he's going to leave his wife anytime now.
My
Oh,
God.
yeah.
So
yeah, anytime.
and that is, she outgrew. She was engaged to a security guard who supported her all through school, but then when she came up in the world, she outgrew him.
Yeah.
And then
Are you sure
that
this
was it.
isn't like just a home math skit? Like that's what it sounds
No,
like.
this is a real. And now, to be fair, she was messing around with me while she was engaged to that guy. To be fair, so there were cracks in the. That was when I was younger. I was a 28-year-old child. I didn't know anything. Okay,
You were taking advantage of a situation that was obvious, and if you probably could have been friends with that security guard guy. Like if you went to him,
liked him better.
and if you had said like, "Hey, dude, I'm like I didn't know you guys were together, and now I've messed around with your woman, but I want to let you know because I feel bad about it or whatever." You'd be besties with that guy now.
Yeah, well, and this is something that I say because I used to do that kind of stuff, and I don't anymore. And
I don't believe you.
Well, now I get hit on. I still get hit on by married women all the time. And one of the things I always say is I have way more empathy for him than I have desire for you. Like, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to help you destabilize Western society. So that
you don't need divorce court to be funny.
Yeah, like, come on. I'm not trying to do all that. And like watching this play out has been, painful. This is an intelligent,
and you'd be on paternity court too.
Okay, let's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, saying that aside, she's, and this is a woman who's followed the liberal feminist script to the letter. And she's, literally said to me, I can't, I have a great job. I'm super smart and fun and confident, and I can't have babies. So I don't, with some medical thing, whatever. So she's like, so I don't understand why I'm having a hard time getting men to commit to me, which basically means she has no internal map at all for how men think.
She's unhappy, and she doesn't know why, and she doesn't know how to fix it.
Yes.
She needs a man to make the decision for her that will make her
I mean,
she's not capable
like
of doing it.
But people like that, and I can speak from some experience, that people like that, there is not even a man will fix that, because that's a developmental issue. If you are so insecure within yourself, if you have no idea what you want and you just think you're gonna wander around the world until it finds you, no. You cannot save those hoes, because they don't know what they want, they don't know who they are, and they're relying on external validation to tell them who they are. But whenever that external validation goes away, they have no idea how to live alone. They have no idea what to do. And I mean, it's just the way of it. It's a developmental thing. Some people just cannot.
There's
be
always
in
a dude.
relationships.
There's always a dude that will do it.
Oh, sure. But the problem is,
have you seen the people on My 600-Pound Life?
Yeah.
Like, there's always a guy.
It's such a great example.
That's true. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It might not be a good choice.
No need to
but
believe
there's
Vaughn like
always
that.
a guy.
Yeah. There's always.
Vaughn's not fat.
No, there's always somebody. There's always somebody who's willing to take on one of these projects. And
for whatever reason.
There are unfortunately there are women who will never learn to self-reflect, because they can always bounce from guy to guy to guy to guy and have somebody. They can be like, I found my person. I've heard that so many times.
They don't even realize that they need to self-reflect, because they don't have a concept of that.
No,
Like it's like an animal. It's like a pet. You're not going to ask your dog to be self-aware and make complex decisions. You're going to tell it to sit and lay down.
Right. Well, I have a great story. So I had a right before I left Spokane for Vegas, I had a woman who told me that she tried to convince me that she was responsible for all of my success in comedy. Not even a woman I was having sex with, by the way, just a woman I knew. She was trying to convince me that all my recent success was a result of her encouragement and that she was the greater woman behind me, the great man, and that she had just
I was just gonna say, was it the behind every successful
yes,
man is a
yes.
woman?
It was an even greater woman, and
I'm
that
glad
she was
she
the
thinks
even
she's
greater
successful.
woman. Right. And well, and that's, I mean, part of the funny part. She accused me of being a sellout, and I was like, really? You should see my bank account. Not the situation. But no, and she well, and,
like, where's all this J.K. Rowling money I'm waiting for?
Exactly. So I immediately, then she tried to convince me that she had just realized she was totally in love with me and she would completely change her life and stop being a whore to whatever if I wanted it. And I was like, man, this is a lot. So I stopped talking to her right after that because I realized she was crazy. And
You're like, I'm just collecting material.
Yes. And later that month, she was married.
Wow.
Later month, she was married.
Month.
She was married.
How long did that last?
I don't know.
Wait, so that would imply she had, like, she already knew this guy, I would think.
Right. Well, I think it was an impulsive relationship decision made during a manic episode, if I had to guess, because she also changed her name and threw a mock funeral for herself during this period. So,
Oh my god.
Yeah. So there was a lot going on.
You're like a crazy chick magnet.
Yeah, that is. Welcome to the show.
Why are you doing that?
It's something about my face, I guess. I don't know. I have that energy. I just bring them out. And
You just look like all of their dads.
Yeah, for real. Like, I really think that's it. It's it's all this.
Well, yeah, he looks like everyone's dad. He looks like Jesus.
Yeah. I
Oh,
know.
he kind of does.
No?
Just like we got Jesus right here.
Come on.
Yeah.
He
I
kind
think
of does look like
I think-
a painting of Jesus.
Yeah, I think it was
hair.
Well, yeah, he's fuckboy Jesus.
Bat Sauce dubbed me fuckboy Jesus, and that went immediately in the fucking Twitter bio.
Oh my god, it's so true.
Yeah.
That is a really apt description. Lucky for me, my dad looked like Robin Williams.
Oh,
well, you know,
you haven't heard me improvise.
I have the shirts.
All right.
I've heard you enough. I've heard you try on this show. It doesn't seem to go very well.
Thanks, buddy.
Try what?
I keep inviting you, so just remember I'm platforming you. All right.
What's the chick's name so I can call ours a trans that person?
her. So if you guys really want to look her up, her TikTok bio is vague threats for fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Her.
And you were like, you thought it would be a great idea to look at her TikTok. That was like,
yeah.
Well, that puts a little bit more context into the vague threats you were receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she does.
Now none of this seems out of nowhere, and none of this seems surprising anymore. You were
okay. Let's not blame the victim.
What is going on?
This is
at some point you do victim blame.
I'm saying that person is going to find someone to target and to harass and be a piece of shit to, and you were on the list.
Is she on Twitter?
I don't know. She's on Plenty of SSRIs.
Oh yeah, that woman's definitely been popping pills, but
all right. Well, this has been rad, fellas. But let's wrap the show up. We're going on 2 hours now. We already lost Iron and Selena. They're the heart of the show. It's just you mindless degenerates and Allie now. So
some people could say Ironheart, the Ironheart of the show.
Yeah. By the way, hashtag Iron Seed in the chat. They're going to be having a child soon enough. We're pulling for it. We're manifesting it. Hashtag Iron Seed.
Wait, it's vague threats. What?
Nope.
Fun.
We're handling this after the show.
Put it in the private chat.
Put it in the private chat. All right. So let's get out of here. Allie, I'm going to do you last because you are the guest. Arza, we mostly tolerate you. I bring you around mostly to bully. But if people do want to get more of your content, where would they go?
Well, if people want to get my witty, intelligent, insightful, very handsome takes, you're more than welcome to find those on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, and of course X/Twitter at the handle ArzaChat. It's easy. It's just that right there. I try to post once a day, one feature length video about 10 minutes long describing a news story, and then I do a 1-minute short summarizing it. If you are too Zoomer brain to not have time for a full video, both work, or you can watch both because they're both great. And I will also be over on Reality Based Network with Ryan Roger Athe tomorrow at Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if Iron and Selena have it, I will be over at the Weekly Rogues on Wednesday if they do it. And tonight I'll be at Sean's show, Third Railify, because he bullied me to be on it last night.
Yeah. All right. Bat Sauce, you've accomplished a lot for an illiterate. I posted your stuff in the chat already, so why don't you go next?
Yeah, I got a lot of things going on. I got books and stuff like that. But just to keep updated, go to my Substack. That's my email list. You don't have to like go to the app or anything. Just put your email list, your email in there, and sign up, and you'll get like cool stuff from me every once in a while. Besides, I have a Twitter and fucking YouTube, and I post story writing stuff on there. You should probably check it out because it's awesome. Unless you're retired, or if you are retired, either way. And that's all Bat Sauce. So
if you are, you relate to him more.
Excellent. So Strider, you are single and 6'3", is that correct?
I am indeed.
Great.
I'm a tall drinking water. So hit me up at the bar.
If a lady wants you to sow her fertile fields, where would she find you?
Well, definitely find me on Twitter. I'm guessing my link is going to be in the chat. I also do a weekly show by myself, just an hour, talking about a couple topics and then reading a book about World War I, which I'm really enjoying. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm having fun. But every Friday you can have, hey, I do what I want. It's my channel. It's my show. I can do whatever the hell I want. And that's the way I live my life. But you also find me on every Friday in the Weekly Rose Gallery. I will not be on this coming next Friday because it's Memorial Day weekend. I got a buddy in town. We're gonna tear shit up. So, which means just we're gonna go to a restaurant, drink some beers. But other than that, that's where you can find me. And then maybe every once in a while on Theo Snodgrass' show here, and we're kind of still trying to figure out Rogues on Wednesday nights. So that's basically where you can find me, anywhere the Rogues are.
Excellent. Vagabond, what kind of cool shit do you get up to besides cucking white dudes, I assume?
White dudes. No, but next weekend I will be gone. I will be at MomoCon here in Georgia for 4 days, 24/7. And I'll be back and maybe start my podcast soon. I swear it's not hentai podcast. And other than that, you catch me on Rogues Gallery usually Fridays, and Saturday nights I'm usually on Anime for the Homies.
Excellent. All right,
Wait,
Allie.
I'm sorry, a what podcast?
Swear it's on hentai.
I swear it's not hentai podcast.
Where he watches some.
Oh, that one. Okay, I remember.
Yeah, but there's no actual hentai, but it's weird, obscure anime and other stuff as well too.
I remember. Sorry.
It was all right.
All right, Allie, you've been great. Friend of the channel, Allie. Go ahead. I'm posting your links right now. Go ahead and shout out all your shit.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube and Twitter at Lady Allie Books. And then you can buy my books on Amazon, but I suggest buying them on Etsy because it'll be cheaper. And then also I can be hired to edit and proofread your books and comics. And I just released or made available some templates. I know people have a hard time formatting things and they've asked before. So I made a bunch of templates that are easy to use for your writing enjoyment of comics. And I'm going to make some more. Monday on my YouTube, I'm going to be back on a live stream and people are welcome to come on, but I'm just going to be like kind of learning how to draw. So, and I'm quite boring, but I'm children based. So
yes, that's a friend of the channel, Allie. Go ahead and buy her books or whatever you want to do, or go watch her channel, do all that stuff. Friend of the channel, Allie Books. All right, my name is Theo Snodgrass. I am your host. If you want to see me, I am going to be at Buck's Tavern on the 21st doing stand-up comedy. I'm also going to be at the Yakima Valley Comedy Festival on the 24th in Yakima, Washington. So go ahead and come out and see that. There's going to be a lot of people on that show. At least a few of them are good that I've seen. There's at least a few. There's some hitters on that lineup. So you're not going to want to miss that. And then on the 31st, I'm going to be doing Comedy Rumble at Wise Guys Comedy Club. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a lot of stuff out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Things are popping. And then I'm announcing my June dates later. So those are just my May dates right now. And then obviously I'm here every Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, hosting Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass, trying to get men and women to understand each other. That's what I do out here. So if you enjoyed the show, please like, share, subscribe, comment, donate to the tip jar, buy things from my merch store, follow me on Patreon, do all of that stuff so I can keep living inside. All right. Take it easy. Heart out.